The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Someone said to me the other day, "You know, E.G., you talk a lot about imagination." At first I thought he might be right, but the more I thought about it, the more it seemed to me he was wrong. Far as I can see, there isn't a more powerful force in the world than imagination. After all, I made a career with mine, in films, TV, on the stage, imagining myself to be all sorts of characters. And you, well, you derive much pleasure from yours when you become the hero or heroine of the stories I bring you. As tonight, each woman will become Dora, and each man Charles Daring, caught up in circumstances which, well, listen.
That clock. The clock.
What, Dora? What?
Oh, that clock, Charlie. It's going to drive me up the wall.
Our mystery drama, The Telltale Heart, was especially adapted from the Edgar Allan Poe classic for the Mystery Theater by George Lothar and stars Fred Gwynne. As you know, I've always had an intense interest in diaries. The day-to-day journals of those who, for one reason or another, recorded the events of their daily lives. This strange tale I bring you now is remarkable not only for the horror it records, but also because it was written by a patient in a state asylum for the criminal insane. A man named Charles Daring, who on a day not long ago wrote...
True. I am nervous. I've always been nervous, but why do they say I am mad? My sick nerves had sharpened my senses, not destroyed them or dulled them. Why, take my sense of hearing. Acute. My ears have always been sharp. So, nervous, yes. Mad, no. Judge for yourself. Listen to how calmly I can tell you the whole story of what happened, beginning with the day I arrived at Uncle Jonas's farm with my dear wife Dora and my daughter Ruth. Well, we're here. I didn't think the old bus would make it.
Charlie, are you all right?
Yeah.
You're trembling.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Take one of your pills anyway.
I'm okay. I said, Dora, I'm okay. I'm sorry. Guess I am a bit keyed up. Long, tiring trip. Near 14 hours. Worrying the car was going to break down, but I'm all right now. We're here.
Looks lonely, Daddy. Real lonely.
Oh, Ruthie. It's a roof over our heads till things get better.
Hello there. Hello! Here at last, I see. I thought you'd never get here. Of course, you're little Charlie Daring, my nephew. All grown up now, though, huh?
Hello, Uncle Jonas. Gosh, it's good to see you.
And this beautiful young woman is your wife, and this charming little girl, your daughter, Ruth.
That's right.
Well, come on in. Our place is might run down, I'm afraid, but, well, you know, I'm not as young as I used to be, and being way out here in what's practically wilderness, it's hard to get help.
You'll have me now, Uncle Jonas.
Yeah. Only, are you up to working, Charlie? You said in your letter you were sick. Reason you lost your job in the city and couldn't find another.
Oh, well, now, about that...
Oh, don't be embarrassed, boy. Out with it. Just tell me the truth of it. No. Better still. You tell me, Dora.
Charlie isn't really sick. I mean, physically. He's as strong as any other man, and he's healthy, too. Only, it's his nerves, that's all.
That's all? Well, that's a lot, ain't it?
Well, no, not really. It's just that now and then he gets these terrible headaches that kind of knock him out, and he starts trembling and sweating, and it's kind of a cold sweat.
Well, now this sounds...
Listen, Uncle Jonas, honest. These attacks, they don't happen all the time. Not much, only now and then. And I've got these pills the doctor gave me, and, well, listen, you'll see. I'm going to earn our keep here, Uncle Jonas. Make you glad you took us in when we needed a roof over our heads. I'm a hard worker, Uncle Jonas. A real hard worker.
Well, sure you are, Charlie. And I'm sure Dora is, too.
Oh, yes, yes.
And little Ruth. She looks like a good, strong girl for her age. And how old are you, Ruthie?
9, sir.
9 years old. My gracious, would you believe I'm 60 years older than you? Know what I've got it in mind for you to do?
No, sir.
Something you like. Feeding the chickens. Now, won't that be fun?
Oh, yes, sir.
Of course it will. And milking the cows. Well, I guess you'll have to learn how to do that, but old Uncle Jonas will show you. Oh, then there's the horses. Jake and Jenny use them for plowing, you know. You'll want to take care of them, feed them, clean their stalls.
Excuse me, Uncle Jonas.
Yes, Charlie, yes?
Ruth is a healthy girl, all right, strong for her age and all, but, well, all those chores, I think they might be just a bit too much for her.
Oh, no, not at all. Do her good, Charlie. Make a woman of her.
Well, look, suppose I milk the cows.
But you'll be out in the fields by that time, plowing, seeding, cultivating, getting the crops in and all like that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I see.
Dora will be so busy in the house, you know, cooking, washing, housework and such. Well, she won't have time for that, so... Oh, no, I got it all figured out, Charlie. You just leave it to me. Well, say now, the way you look, maybe you didn't mean it when you said you meant to work for your keep. Now, time for bed, so I better show you to your room.
Bed? But the sun's only just gone down behind the mountain.
Yeah, that's right. It gets dark fast this time of year. See, Charlie, I don't like to waste kerosene keeping lamps going all night.
But, Uncle Jonas...
We get up with the chickens, we go to bed with the chickens, Dora.
I was only going to say that we haven't eaten anything since noontime.
Oh, hungry are you?
Well, yes.
Oh, well, let's see what I can scare up in the kitchen. Not much right now, I'm afraid. An old man like me don't eat very much. Kind of get out of the habit.
Charles, what have we got ourselves into?
Sounds like he means to work us hard.
To death, more like it. Charlie, I don't like your uncle. He scares me.
Dora was right. As always, Uncle Jonas did mean to work us to death, or at least until we dropped, and always laughing jovially, joking that city life had weakened us, and farm work would soon make us strong. Well, as day went into week, we grew more and more exhausted from overwork and hungrier from lack of enough food. One morning in the kitchen...
Charlie, you're back from the fields early.
Early? It's nearly 12, and I've been plowing and seeding since before dawn. I'm brushed. Got a cup of coffee?
I'll see if there's any left in the pot. He only lets me make one pot for the day, you know.
I know. Where's Ruth?
She was lying down. She came in from cleaning the horse stall, said she felt faint. She went to lie down, but...
But what?
He sent her out again. Said there was nothing wrong with her. Said she was faking.
I've got to do something about all this. It can't go on.
What can you do? We're broke. We're penniless. Miles from nowhere with a broken-down car. We're trapped.
If I could only fix that carburetor. but I need a new part, a butterfly valve.
Oh, forget it. We haven't got a chance.
Maybe we have. The game warden.
Game warden? Here, that's what's left of the coffee.
Fella named Harrington, something like that. He came by the other day, all the way from Pomfret. Stopped to talk for just a minute. Said he makes it out this way about once a month or so, and if he could get that part for me in Pomfret.
Well, now, what's this? In the kitchen instead of in the fields, drinking coffee at this hour, Charlie?
Oh, I'm sorry, Uncle Jonas, but I just had to have something to keep me going.
Sorry? Oh, nothing to be sorry about, Charlie. If you're tired out, you're tired out. Nerves, huh?
No. Nerves okay.
Can't be. Got to be your nerves. Can't be the work. You're not doing that much.
Jonas, this past week I plowed nearly 20 acres and seeded more than 5.
Why, my Lord, Charlie, in my prime, I used to do that in 3 days. Well, now, I'll tell you, Charlie, I wanted you to get started on the lower field this afternoon, but if you're all tuckered out, you can't pull your weight around here.
No, Jonas, I can do it. I
don't want to force you to something, Charlie.
I can do it, Jonas.
Well, that's good. Good. Now, you go on out and work that field till 1 o'clock, and then we'll all sit down and have a good midday feed.
Yeah, sure, Jonas. Sure.
A good midday feed? Is that what you said, Uncle Jonas?
When are you gonna stop calling me Uncle? Makes me feel old for a pretty young heifer like you to call me Uncle. Much too old.
Oh, please, if you don't mind.
Well, now, what have I done? I just put my hands on your shoulders, and where I'd really like to put them.
Don't you ever do that again.
Well, now, if I'd known you were going to take it like that, I wouldn't have. And I won't, Dora. Never again. Never again, that is, until you ask me.
You're upset. You're all upset. Tell me what happened after I left. Tell me.
Charlie, please, I've got to get supper on the table. What there is of it.
Something happened between you and Jonas. What was it?
Charlie, it was nothing.
What was it?
He tried to get fresh.
What do you mean, get fresh?
Charlie.
I want to know.
It isn't anything much. He just put his hands on my shoulder.
And?
Well, he sort of let his hand slip. Charlie, that was all. Believe me, that was all. I told him never to do anything like that again, and he won't. Charlie, believe me, he won't.
Oh, he won't. I'll see to that. Where is he?
Charlie.
Where is he?
Charlie, I think he's in that room he keeps closed, the one he uses for an office. Where are you going?
To have a talk with Uncle Jonas.
Charlie, wait. He's ordered us never to set foot in that room.
I want a word with you, Jonas.
Having another attack of nerves, Charlie? Must be. Can't imagine you busting in here otherwise.
You know why I'm here, and it isn't my nerves.
Well, then what is it? What is it, Charlie?
That clock.
Charlie.
That clock, the way it ticks.
Oh, yeah. Everybody notices that. Everybody's ever been in this room, that is. It's more like a heartbeat, they say, huh? Strong, solid, full of life. Like my heartbeat. But that isn't what you come to talk about.
You insulted my wife today.
Insulted?
You made advances, put your hands on her.
And that was an insult?
What do you call it?
Oh, a compliment to her beauty, her female attraction.
You dirty-minded, hypocritical old...
Charlie!
Dora, What? Ruthie! And for a reason I didn't understand then, as I looked at Dora holding Ruth, my dead daughter, in her arms, I was aware only of the ticking of the clock.
Trapped. Yes, surely that's the word for Charles and Dora Daring, who accepted the help of Uncle Jonas, his offer to come and live on his isolated farm, only to find that his farm is a prison. Charles' diary continues, and we'll read it together, you and I, when I return shortly with Act 2. Dead. Only a word with little significance, really, unless spoken for the first time about someone you love. He is dead. She is dead. Then it hits you, the full impact of the word's terrible meaning. What do you do in that awful moment? How do you react? Some burst into tears, others are numbed into a silence. Whatever the emotion, it is deep and very personal, as was Charles Daring's. Perhaps even a curious reaction, born of his nervous condition, for he writes in the diary,
And for a reason I didn't understand then, as I looked at Dora holding Ruth, my dead daughter, in her arms, I was aware only of the ticking of the clock. That huge grandfather clock in the room my uncle called his office. It grew louder and louder, filling, saturating the room with its beat. The beat that my uncle said was like the beat of his heart. Slow, steady, solid. And then, through the beating, as if from far off, I heard Dora's voice.
Dead. She's dead, Charlie. Our little girl. No,
Dora, you're mistaken. Here, let me take her in my arms. Ruthie. This is Daddy. Can you hear me, dear? Ruthie.
Kid's dead. Anybody can see that.
Shh. No, can't be.
Charlie, dear. Give her to me. Let me take her.
Yes. Put her on the bed in our room. Let her rest. Let her rest.
Come on now, Charlie. You can't go to pieces. Gotta act like a man. Got to face up to...
Leave him alone.
What? What's that?
You've killed his daughter. Isn't that enough for one day? Leave him alone.
The grave's filled in at last. We better get back to the house. This wind cuts to the bone. Oh, cows due for milking, too. I guess you or Dora have to do that from now on. So, I might as well get started.
Not before I say a few words. Over Ruthie.
What? Oh, go ahead. Then you can get to the milking.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness. What? Dora, wake up.
I'm not asleep.
Listen.
It's only the storm, dear.
No, not the storm. Listen.
To what, dear?
The clock. The grandfather clock in Jonas's office.
I don't hear it. I never have, Charlie.
I hear it.
You can't. His office is downstairs at the other end of the house. He keeps the door closed. You're imagining.
No, I can hear it. My ears, you know how sensitive they are.
Darling, try to sleep.
Can't. Keep thinking of Ruthie, our little Ruthie lying out there alone in the ground, the rain beating down, the cold rain.
Try not.
And the clock beating like his heart, beating. While hers lies still, will never beat again. I can't bear it.
Charlie. Darling, I'll get you a pill for your nerves.
Don't leave me, don't.
The bottle's down in the kitchen. Only a minute. I'll be right back. Only a minute. Oh.
Oh, I startled you, girl.
Well, I didn't expect to find you in the kitchen this late.
A glass of warm milk to help me sleep. There's a little left, if you'd like some.
No, I just came down to get Charlie's pills.
Oh, I'm glad you did. Yeah, long time since I've seen a woman in her nightgown.
I thought the bottle was here on this shelf.
You might as well stop looking for them pills.
What do you mean?
I threw them away.
Charlie's pills?
He don't need them. He only thinks he does.
Are you out of your mind? They're all that keep him from going completely to pieces.
Oh, don't believe it. A lot of nonsense. Doctor's nonsense.
You didn't throw them away. Where are they?
No, I threw them away, all right.
Then you must want him to break down completely. That's it, isn't it? I've known all along what you were up to, but I wouldn't admit it to myself. Now I know.
Oh, and you tell me.
Stay away from me. Don't you touch me, I swear. If you do, I'll tell all I know.
Huh? Tell who? Who's there to tell?
Get your hands off.
Tell who? Huh? Tell who? Only one around, Charlie.
I'll get to town. Somehow I'll get to town. I'll tell the police. You meant to kill Charlie. Work, starve him to death, so you could be alone with me. Have me.
Like I've got you.
You filthy, rotten swine! Oh! Swine! Filthy beasts!
Stop him! He's killing me!
Charlie!
I'll
Charlie,
kill him.
no!
I'll kill him!
Charlie! No!
If you ever put your dirty hands on my wife again, I'll kill you. There was no sleep for us that night, Dora and me. And by the time dawn showed beyond the mountains, we'd come to a decision. Too late to save our beloved daughter, but in time to save ourselves. If I could somehow manage to fix the car. So, after the usual skimpy breakfast, a piece of unbuttered bread and a cup of weak coffee.
What's all this? Charlie, what you up to?
Getting Dora and me out of here, that's what I'm up to.
Oh, now, come on. Hold on, Charlie. Hold on. Let's talk this over.
There's none to talk over.
I don't think I knew what I was doing, Charlie. I really don't think so.
Well, you did it, and it wasn't the first time.
I know.
Starving us to death, working us to death. You killed Ruthie, you did.
No. Charlie, you got to forgive me for what I've done without meaning to.
You work us and starve us.
I thought it was best for you. But I was wrong. And I admit it. And I ask you to forgive me.
Well,
Don't, Charlie. Don't do it.
Oh, now, Dora!
Charlie! Don't you see what he's up to? If we leave, and we're leaving, he loses whatever work he can get out of you before you drop in your tracks. And he loses me.
Now, girl, daughter...
Don't you daughter me. Any woman could see through the likes of you. You'll kill him. That's why you threw away the pills he needs. And then you'll have me all to yourself. All alone. Out here in this forsaken wilderness. To do whatever you want with. Charlie, get that car running. If it's at all possible, get that car running. How far have we come, Charlie?
only 6, near 7 miles.
That leaves about 25 to Pomfret.
If we get over this mountain. Dora.
What?
keep wondering, when we get to Pomfret, what'll we do? I mean, where will we stay? How will we eat?
We could stay in a car for a day or two if we have to. And my suitcase is full of food.
Full of...
I took every scrap of food I could lay my hands on.
Good for you. Oh, no.
What? Charlie, what?
We're cooked, honey. Just plain cooked.
What?
The butterfly valve. I knew it wouldn't last the trip.
But you fixed it once.
Yeah, and for the last time. It can't be fixed again. Now what do we do? Now what do we do?
We start walking.
25 miles through the mountains. 25 miles.
We can't go back.
We got to, honey. I'm in no condition to make it 25 miles to Pomfret.
You are. You can. You've got to. If we go back, it's death for you. And for me. We can't go back.
Who's there? Who's there?
We come back.
I figured you would. In fact, I knew you would.
How did you know? How could you be so sure?
What else could you do once you run out of gas?
It wasn't that. I filled the tank from those cans in the barn.
And I emptied it, Charlie.
You?
Left just enough for you to get maybe 10 miles. I noticed you had a busted gas gauge, so you'd never know.
You are the most...
Now, I did it for your own good.
You lying...
What would you have done when you got to Pomfret? Charlie, why do you always stare at that clock?
The ticking, it hurts my ears, my hearing, awful sensitive. Painful.
Listen, I'm sorry about what happened before you left. We're gonna change all that. We're gonna be friends. Try to be, anyhow. Here, let's have a drink on it. A toast to the future. Our future together. For you, my dear. And Charlie, a glass for you. Although, maybe before you drink it, but now, only if you won't mind, Charlie. You won't, will you?
Mind what, Uncle Jonas?
Milking the cows, feeding the chickens before night comes on.
No. No, I don't mind.
And now, daughter, a toast to us and our future together.
An evil old man, a ruthless old man, and, unhappily, a victorious old man. What lies ahead now for Dora and Charles Daring? I know because I read Charles' diary. You will know shortly when I return for Act 3. One wonders at times on the nature of evil. What is it in all of us that on one occasion or another will make us do wrong when we know it to be wrong? St. Paul said, "The good I would do, I do not, and the evil I would not, I do." Our author Edgar Allan Poe said simply, "We are perverse." However it may be, there can be no question that Uncle Jonas is evil.
I know he means to kill me through overwork and little food, and then do with Dora what he desires. But what can I do? We're trapped here on this isolated farm in the wilderness, cut off from any possible help, prisoners in the hands of this evil old man who... A car. Coming down the road, a car. The game warden. I forgot the game warden. Hi there! Hi! Wait up! Wait up!
Sure. Well, hello. Daring, isn't it?
Yeah. We met once, months ago. Remember? I was plowing the fields and you came by and...
Sure, I remember.
Listen, I need help. Will you help me?
Well, if I can.
We tried to get away from here, my wife and I, but our car broke down.
Oh, is that your car, half blocking the road 6 miles or so back?
Yeah. Carburetor went sour. I tried to fix it, but it didn't hold up.
Well, there's not much I can do. I'm no mechanic.
No, but you could pick up a carburetor for me in Pomfret, couldn't you? The next time you come out this way...
Yeah, sure. I could do that, but... Well, you'll have a long wait. I don't come out this way more than once every other month, thereabouts.
Oh, that's okay. I can wait, but will you do it?
Sure, glad to.
Charlie?
Yeah?
He wants to see you. Your uncle.
All right. Coming.
That your wife?
Yeah.
Well, no wonder you want to get away from here. If I had a wife as pretty as yours, I wouldn't want her around that dirty old man either.
Come in. Well, where you been? I told Dora I wanted to see you 10 minutes ago.
I was working in the barn.
Working? You working? Look at me, damn it. Not at that clock. You're always looking at that clock. Look at me when I talk to you.
Yeah.
I got to thinking. It's a waste of time, you trepsing back and forth from the fields to the house, from the barn to the house. So, from here on, I've decided you'll live in the barn.
What? You can't do this. Dora and me can't live in the...
I didn't say Dora. I said you.
Me in the barn. And Dora here?
That's right.
Dora alone in this house? With you? Never!
Now you listen to me.
Never! You think I don't know what you're up to? Dora's told me everything. How you've been after her, forcing yourself on her. And if you think if you're alone in the house with her alone at night, you can get what you're after. Never!
Oh, yes. You fool. Don't you think I planned this from the beginning? From the day I got your sniveling letter begging me to take you in. And the day I laid eyes on her for the first time, I knew. I knew then that it was a good plan, and I'd go through with it.
You...
A simple plan, too. So simple it couldn't go wrong. Starve you, weaken you, work you into your grave.
The way you worked Ruthie into hers...
No, the child didn't matter one way or the other. It was you.
Didn't matter.
What?
My little girl, my Ruthie, didn't matter.
Here now. Wait a minute, Charles. My throat. You're choking me. You can't.
What? There's something. The clock. Stopped. Strange. Why so suddenly stopped? His heart, he said it was like the beating of his heart. It stopped. Would that mean... on the floor. Jonas, on the floor. Oh, my God. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I killed him. But I killed him. In my rage, I killed him. I am a murderer. I realized that I must do something to hide the body. But what? Where to hide it? If I tried to get out of the house into the barn, Dora might see me doing it. A chance I couldn't take. If I dragged it down the cellar, there was the risk she'd hear me. Where could I hide? And then Then my eyes, as they had so often done before, my eyes went to the clock. The clock that had stopped the very instant his heart stopped. A big clock, 6 feet tall and 2 feet wide. Was it possible that I might... If I could stand him up in that space, the clock hiding him, for a time, only for a time, to let me think what I might do afterwards. Yes, that is what I did. And just in time, I just stood his body against the wall and pushed the clock back into place, hiding it when...
Yes?
Mrs. Daring, of course.
Yes.
I'm Game Warden Carrington. I'd like to talk to your husband.
Oh, well, he's with his uncle just now. Could you wait?
Well, I'm afraid not. I want to get back to Pomfret before nightfall.
Uh-huh. Is it important?
It is to your husband.
Well, Uncle Jonas gets angry when... Well, follow me.
Thank you.
What is it?
I'm sorry to interrupt. The game warden's here. He says he's got to see Charles. Got to see him right away.
Oh, hello, Warden.
See about that carburetor, Daring.
Oh?
Look, I don't like talking to you. You peering through a door open a crack. Could I come in?
No. Uncle Jonas doesn't allow anyone...
Oh, that's all right. Come in.
Where's Uncle Jonas?
He went down to the barn. Be back in a little while.
Oh. Well, I'll leave you and the warden together.
Sit down, Warden.
Oh, no. This'll just take a minute, and I'm in a hurry. I got to thinking about that carburetor.
Carburetor. Yes. Carburetor.
There's a good mechanic in Pomfret, Hutchinson. He could maybe rebuild it for you, save you some money.
Oh. Well.
You all right, Daring?
Yes. Only.
Well, what is it? Why do you keep looking at that clock?
It isn't going.
Of course it isn't. Well, you can see that. The pendulum has stopped.
Yes. And yet... about the carburetor.
Well, I was going to suggest, but I want your permission first, suggest I take the carburetor out of the car on my way back to Pomfret, you know?
Yes, do that.
Well, the trouble is, I haven't got the tools.
Tools?
Yes. Are you listening to me?
Yes, I'm listening.
I've got a couple of screwdrivers, but no wrench and no pliers, so I wondered if you might have what I need.
Yes, I...
Well, if you could let me have them, I'll stop by the car, get the carburetor out, and take it to Hutchinson and Pomfret. He'll have plenty of time to work on it, because I won't be coming back this way for another... Daring, what is it?
You think you're clever, don't you, Warden?
Well, that's a funny thing to say. Nothing clever about taking a carburetor out of a car.
I don't mean that. You know I don't mean that.
Well, what do you mean?
The sound. You hear it as well as I do. You hear it.
What are you talking about?
The heartbeat. His heartbeat. It has to be that. The clock has stopped. Look. The clock has stopped, but the beat, the beat. You hear it.
I don't hear anything.
Liar. How could you not hear it? You didn't come about the carburetor. You knew I was going to do it. You saw it on my face when we talked out there today. You must have seen it. In my face. Even though I didn't know it.
Well, know what? Daring, have you gone mad? Saw what in your face? You were going to do what?
Kill him. Kill him! Kill him!
Hey! What are you doing? Why are you pulling the clock away from that? Hey, look out! It's falling!
See? See?
Oh, good Lord. Good Lord.
Charles? Dear?
You've come, Dora. Sit down, dearest, and give me a moment. I just want to adjust the escape mechanism on this clock. Ah, there.
All fixed?
All fixed. And they said it couldn't be done.
If it can be done, you're the man to do it. Dr. Leonardo says you're a genius when it comes to fixing clocks. Goodness, you fixed just about everyone in this whole...
In the asylum. I know what it is, Dora, dear. I just don't know why I'm here.
No matter, sweetheart. So long as you're happy.
Oh, very, very. And you?
I'm fine.
And Ruthie? Little Ruthie. How's she?
She couldn't be better, Charles. She sends her love.
Give mine to her. Oh, dear, dear, dear.
What, Charles?
This escape mechanism. Still not working the way it should. If you'll excuse me, Dora.
In a little room in a large institution, a very gentle, a very sweet old man tinkers happily with clocks and watches. And an old lady, a very old but very attractive old lady, visits him weekly. He lives in another world, she in this. Small matter. Both are happy.
I shall return shortly.
Well, to come full circle, you, sir, became Charles Daring, and you, ma'am, or would you prefer Ms., became Dora. And as I pointed out earlier, you couldn't have done it without that miracle imagination. Think, how completely did you become Charles, Dora? Did you become them? Or did you only listen? With your ears, listen. If that is so, try again. Ears are not enough. Try using your soul. Our cast included Fred Gwynne, Ann Shepard, and Robert Dryden.
E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams. The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. I'm sitting over here in this shaft of moonlight. A curious thing, the moon. The songwriters have hailed its praises for centuries. By the light of the silvery moon, shine on, harvest moon, moonlight and roses, all love songs. And Claude Debussy's most popular piano piece is Clair de Lune, or Moonlight. Yes, the moon has held a fascination for lovers, poets, and musicians. And in our story about to unfold, moonlight plays a rather important part. But it has nothing to do with love. Quite the opposite, I believe. mystery drama, Garden of the Moon, was written especially for Mystery Theater by Bob Jurin and stars Kim Hunter. I shall return shortly with Act One. More and more women today are finding self-expression in business. Not just jobs, but careers. Yolanda Westerville began her career with Roberta Dean Cosmetics as a typist. But her natural flair for the cosmetic industry soon propelled her to the executive suite as vice president in charge of merchandising. The competition is fierce, and up to now Yolanda was a front runner. But lately it seems that tension is catching up with her.
I don't care if you have to charter a plane. That display has to be in St. Louis Monday. We went over this 4 times, Charlie, and now you're telling me... I will not listen. You're all against me, that's what it is. Well, let me tell you, Charlie, you're not getting this office. Oh, no. I know all about you and your filthy little schemes. Roxy! Roxy, get in here with your pad.
Mrs. Westerville, you've got to calm down.
Don't tell me what to do.
Here, take this.
What is it?
Take it.
Oh, all right.
It's only a simple sedative.
God, what's the matter with me, Roxy? Just made a fool of myself on the phone with Charlie Benson.
I heard. It's been happening more frequently lately. Oh, why don't you take a few weeks off, huh?
No, not with the campaign on Sunset Reverie ready to break.
Well, then take vitamins.
Roxy, sometimes
Mrs. Westerville, you know you're under a lot of stress. Diet, exercise, vitamins build you up. You know, you cope better.
Is that how you put up with me?
I enjoy working for you, Mrs. Westerville. But I'll be honest, lately you've become a bit of a shrew.
Oh, I know. I've been spouting off at home, too. Bill's unhappy.
Oh, I think you're just run down. That's why I'm serious about the diet and the exercise.
Roxy, you're a friend. But I don't think wheat germ and yogurt are going to make much difference.
Look, a new health food store opened on Lexington Avenue at 45th Street last week. It's called the Garden of the Moon. I haven't been there yet, but why don't you try it? It's a restaurant as well as a store. So why not go there for lunch or at least look around?
Well, why not? I'm sick of those martini and steak lunches. Garden of the Moon.
Good morning, madame. May I help you?
I'll just look around, thanks.
If I may, Dr. Lunestra at your service. Our merchandise is not the usual type of food you find in most stores, such as this.
Oh? Well, I'm a novice, really. I'm not into the health food thing, so everything's new to me.
Ah, then you must let me guide you. We're quite new, you know, and we haven't caught on yet. I have no other customers, so let me explain.
All right, go ahead.
The name of my shop, I did not choose from mere whim. It is basic to my merchandise, such as this jar of body lotion.
Essence of lunar light.
Precisely. And this display of produce, carrots, beets, cabbage, potatoes, they are not ordinary vegetables, although they appear no different than any other.
Oh, I've read of organic gardening.
Madam, these are not organically grown foods. They are superior to those.
Oh?
These are grown in moonlight, and only moonlight.
Moonlight? You're serious?
Oh, yes, of course. You see, it is a theory of mine that moonlight has enormous benefits.
It usually gives me the creeps. It's so cold and icy.
Ah, no, madame. It is magnificent. What we call moonlight is, of course, the reflected light of the sun. And when the sun strikes the surface of the moon, it picks up powerful forces, magnetic and atomic. Moonlight is imbued with incredible properties.
Well, I hadn't thought of it that way.
So, all of this produce is exposed only to moonlight. Therefore, it has nutritional benefits beyond imagining.
Really? I'm not sure
I see. Madame doubts. I know. Others will doubt too, but when they see the results of eating moon-grown food, they will eat nothing else.
Where is the moon food grown?
On a farm in New Hampshire.
New Hampshire?
High on a mountain top to get the best exposure to the moon.
Well, thank you. Look, I really must go.
Now, please, take this free sample of lotion, and you will be back, madame. You will see.
He's crazy. Growing food in moonlight on top of a mountain in New Hampshire?
That's a new one, all right.
Who's going to fall for that? It's just a bunch of vegetables from some Jersey farm. I got out of there as fast as I could.
I'll get it. Mrs. Westerville's office?
Hi, Roxy. Is she there?
Yes, sir. It's Mr. Westerville.
Hello, Bill.
Hi, darling. How goes the day?
Don't ask.
Look, can we get out of bridge tonight? I've got a crash brief to get ready for court tomorrow.
I'll call the Maxwells now. I couldn't face it tonight myself.
Oh, great. Meet me at Alfredo's for dinner, and then we'll go straight home, huh?
Okay, I'll see you there.
I think I'll take a look at this Garden of the Moon. It sounds so weird.
Don't waste your time. Whoever it is that runs the place is a charlatan. But I think I'll take your advice about diet, Roxy. I'm meeting Bill for dinner tonight, and I think I'll stick to cottage cheese and tomatoes.
What's with the cottage cheese and tomatoes?
Roxy thinks I need a diet. She says it'll help my nerves.
Yeah, well, they could stand some help.
I know, Bill. I've been a bear lately. It's been the strain of the Sunset Reverie introduction.
Yeah. Still, a diet wouldn't do you any harm.
I'll get Roxy to work out a schedule for me. She's a health nut, you know. Oh, and speaking of that, I went into the strangest shop today.
Oh, yeah?
A new health food store called Garden of the Moon.
You in a health food store?
Yeah, Roxy suggested it. Bill, I think there are grounds for prosecution or something there.
Oh, why?
Well, the man who runs it, Dr. Lunestra, claims all his produce is grown in moonlight. It's supposed to have magical powers.
Well, that's a new angle. Dr. Lunestra, he's appropriately named.
Aren't there grounds for some legal action? I mean, it's misrepresentation or something.
No, not unless someone files a complaint. Well, who knows? Maybe he does grow it in moonlight, and there are plenty of suckers who'll believe it.
No, it doesn't seem right, no.
Well, he's probably not hurting anyone. If someone does react badly from the stuff and lodges a complaint, well, then that's a different story.
I guess you're right. Good morning, Roxy.
Good morning, Mrs. Westerville.
Any calls?
Mrs. Dean called twice. She wants to see you as soon as you come in.
Oh, Lord.
Carpenter and Rose called from St. Louis. The displays still haven't arrived.
Oh, this sure is going to be my day. Tell Mrs. Dean I'm on my way. And pour me a coffee while I put on my face.
Right away.
Oh, well, I'd forgotten this.
What?
The sample of lotion that character gave me yesterday.
Essence of Luna Light. Huh. Why don't you try it? It can't hurt.
It has an unusual fragrance.
Yeah, it seems to glow.
Well, a little under the eyes and some on the neck. Snap it up with that coffee, Roxy. Roberta Dean awaits.
Back already?
She's fuming about the St. Louis opening. I'm going to have to fly out there. Look, get me an early afternoon flight and call my husband and tell him to meet me for lunch at Alfredo's. I'll hold all calls except for Her Highness. I'll be back Thursday if I'm lucky.
Westerville here.
Hello, Bill. It's me.
Hi, darling. How's it going out there?
Smashing. I finally traced the displays to St. Joseph, but we got them here in time. The opening was a huge success.
Great. When are you coming home?
I'll be in Sunday night.
Good. I'll meet you.
No, don't. Roberta and I are going to the office first. I'll see you at home.
Okay, I'll be there. Hey, you sound as though things are great.
They are. Wait till you hear the compliments I got. See you Sunday.
Things must
have gone well. I haven't seen you this radiant in years.
One of the best line introductions we've had.
Well, maybe it's the firelighter. Not having seen you for 5 days, but you do look different, Yolanda.
Yeah, I've noticed it, too.
Hey, your skin seems so much smoother. I mean, well, particularly under your eyes. It's like a younger woman's. What is it, a new Roberta Dean transformation?
No. In fact, I'm not wearing any makeup.
Oh.
I've been using a bottle of lotion I got in that strange little store I told you about. It has a marvelous tightening agent. I'm going to try to make an exclusive deal with him for Roberta Dean.
You're going to market this stuff? I mean, a week ago, you were practically calling him a charlatan.
Well, I still don't believe the moon nonsense. But chemically and cosmetically, his lotion works. I'm going to have our labs run an analysis on it. If we can't duplicate it, we'll talk business with him.
What does the great Roberta think about it?
I haven't told her yet. There's a new moon tonight. It looks so picturesque over the Empire State Building.
Where are you going?
Just out in the balcony. It is beautiful up there.
What is it, darling? Something the matter?
Just a tingling in my face. Like little nerves jumping.
Yeah, no wonder after a week in St. Louis. You better take a hot bath and go to bed.
Good idea. Tomorrow I'm going to pay another visit to this Garden of the Moon.
Good morning, madame. I thought you'd be back.
Well, business certainly has picked up.
Oh, yes. In only one short week, I am becoming known. I can hardly provide enough produce to meet the demand.
Well, I think I'll try some of your vegetables.
Certainly. Did madame use the lotion I gave her?
No, not yet. But I've been thinking about your moon-grown food, and, well, all these other people seem to enjoy them.
Here, let me give you a small assortment to try, and be sure to steam them. Don't boil. Takes away all the flavor.
Yes, of course.
2 carrots, 1 parsnip, a potato, and 4 onions. I think you'll find them quite different from the vegetables you've been accustomed to. And remember, we serve lunch and dinner, too. Perhaps you'd like to have luncheon with us sometime?
Perhaps. Speaking of the lotion, what's in it?
Moonlight, madame?
I mean the ingredients.
Oh, nothing but a little oil of roses, water, and gelatin. And moonlight.
But water and gelatin can't... I mean... Well, that's very interesting. I'll really have to try it.
Here are the vegetables, madame. I guarantee you'll notice a decided difference in how you feel after eating the produce from the Garden of the Moon.
How much do I owe you?
$2.
That's fair enough, I guess.
And be sure to steam them.
Here you are.
Thank you, madame. Enjoy them in good health. Just browse around, everybody. I'll be back in a moment. If you want help in selecting, I'll be happy to oblige. Back in a moment. Lunestra here.
How are things going? We haven't heard from you for more than a week.
Splendidly. The merchandise is moving beautifully. People are coming back for more. In fact, I'm running low on supplies.
We can take care of that.
When will the next harvest take place?
On October 30th.
Good. Word is spreading. I'm getting new customers every day.
Excellent. We'll keep in touch and see that you get more supplies.
By all means. I don't want to have to turn anyone away just when we're beginning to get a name.
Someone once wrote a song about moonlight in Vermont. Perhaps that's where the farm should be located instead of New Hampshire. Even so, it seems a long way to ship produce for a New York store. I wonder, though, do you really believe carrots and potatoes will grow in the moonlight? Or that moonlight has special powers? We'll see what happens after Yolanda eats the moon-grown vegetables when I return shortly with Act 2. can be different things to different people. Some find it soft and romantic. Others think it cold and eerie, like Yolanda Westerville. But I doubt that moonlight can add nutrition to vegetables. They need sun to flourish. It is curious, though, that the lotion Yolanda used did seem to make a difference in her appearance. Both she and her husband noticed it. And what did Mr. Lunestra say was in it? Oil of roses, water gelatin, and moonlight? You're actually going to eat those carrots?
Well, look at them. They're absolutely no different than any other carrots I've seen. And they taste superb.
And they were grown in moonlight.
Well, I still don't believe that nonsense. They're probably organically grown and cost twice as much as the supermarket variety. It's the lotion I'm interested in.
Yeah, well, you do look different, I'll admit that. Softer.
I sent the rest of the bottle to the labs today. I'm positive we can duplicate the formula.
You feel like a movie tonight? For once, I don't have homework to do.
Let's. I haven't been to a good...
What's the matter?
Just... I don't know. A sudden kind of warm rush through my whole body.
Sounds like the start of a cold. Maybe we'd better just stay home.
I guess so. I'd better just get to bed early.
Yeah, your resistance ran down during that St. Louis campaign. Why don't you get into bed? I'll fix us both a hot lemonade with a spike in it, huh?
Oh, there it is again. Oh, dear, I'd better start nursing myself. I can't afford a bout with the flu this week.
What? Yolanda, what are you doing over there?
Just standing here in the moonlight. See how it comes through the window, so soft and clear. Makes a white patch on the carpet. I'm just standing here in the moonlight.
Yolanda, come back to bed. You've probably got a fever. It's making you...
No, I don't think so. My skin is cool. Cool in the cool moonlight. So cool.
Yolanda, stop it, please. Look, come on. I'll help you back to bed.
Oh, all right. I'll say goodnight to the moonlight. Good night, moonlight. Good morning, darling. Ooh, thanks for making the coffee.
Well, I didn't expect to see you up so early this morning.
I feel marvelous. A good night's rest made the difference. I chased that flu bug right away.
Good night's rest, indeed. You were out of bed, standing in the moonlight. You were talking to it.
I was what?
You were standing by the window, talking in your sleep.
But that's... I don't remember it at all. Oh, I'm sorry I disturbed your rest.
No, there's nothing to apologize for. I'm just glad you're feeling okay. You got a busy day ahead?
Not really, but an interesting one, perhaps. I should get the lab analysis back on that lotion. Morning, Roxy.
Morning.
Any calls?
Not one, believe it or not. Say, you're looking good this morning. Better than I've seen you in ages.
Had a good night's sleep.
No, it's more than that. I don't know, there's something different about you. Oh, this arrived by messenger this morning. Confidential from the lab.
Oh, great. I was hoping that would come in today. I had the lab run an analysis on that lotion I got at the Garden of the Moon. I hope we can duplicate it.
Oh, you think it's good?
Oh, look what it's done for me.
That is why you look different. Younger.
I used half the bottle. It definitely works. Well, I'll be.
What's the matter?
The analysis of the lotion. Oil of roses, water, and gelatin, just as he said.
Oh, that's easy to duplicate.
But those ingredients haven't any cosmetic value. There must be something the lab missed.
No, they're pretty thorough.
I'm going to call them. I can't believe that combination of elements could be so effective. I'll see if they can duplicate.
Laboratory, Harrison.
Eric, it's Yolanda Westerville.
Hi, good morning, Yolanda. Did you get the analysis?
Yes. I'm wondering if you missed something.
Missed something? What do you mean?
Rose oil, water, and gelatin. Are you sure that's all?
Yeah. Where did you get this fluid anyway?
Oh, I'll tell you that later. Look, I'd appreciate another test. If it turns up the same, we'll forget it.
Sure. You'll be hearing from us.
Thanks. Bye, Eric.
Well,
They're rechecking.
I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to that place on my lunch hour and get myself a bottle.
Look, I'll come along. I'll treat you to lunch at the Garden of the Moon.
The place is jammed. It's certainly catching on.
We'll have to wait for a table. That's the proprietor over there.
Odd-looking guy, isn't he?
Oh, he's coming over.
Welcome, ladies. You're here for lunch.
Yes.
I have two in the back. Follow me.
Oh.
Look at those fresh strawberries on that woman's plate. There's his golf ball.
Incredible. Thank you.
And how did Madame enjoy the vegetables?
Excellent, really. I only tried the carrots.
Oh, then you ladies are in for another treat. The luncheon menu.
Oh, let's see.
I think I'll have the tomato surprise.
An excellent choice, Madame.
So will I.
2 tomato surprises. My assistants will take your beverage order.
This place is really packed. You know, I've been thinking. You admit the lotion did wonders for you. Maybe the food does have some kind of special something.
It's possible. I still think the moonlight thing is just a promotion gimmick.
2 tomato surprises for the ladies.
Oh, will you look at that? What are they stuffed with?
The chef's secret, Madame. But you might happen to find a rose petal or two.
Exotic.
Bon appetit, ladies.
Simply marvelous.
Oh, I agree 100%.
Oh, it was so light and tasty, yet so satisfying.
Yeah, I'm going to take some more vegetables home. Bill won't touch them, but... Roxy, what's the matter?
Oh, nothing really. Just a sudden warm feeling.
Not you, too. Oh, it's the flu bug going around. I had the same thing last night.
No, I'm okay, really.
Look, you take the rest of the day off. Go home and get into bed.
Oh, now that I won't turn down. I do feel a little dizzy.
Let's pay the check and go.
I want to get a bottle of that lotion.
Oh, do that. And give me a few drops for the lab. I'd like another test from a different bottle.
Did you enjoy the luncheon?
Excellent, yes.
I'd like a bottle of Essence of Lunar Light.
Yes, of course. Shall I add it to the check?
No, I'll just...
Oh, yes, put it on the check. It all goes on the expense account, Roxy.
Thanks. I guess I'd better get on home, Mrs. Westerville. I feel kind of funny.
Well, I'm afraid Roxy's going to be out for a couple of days.
Oh?
We were having lunch at the Garden of the Moon. She came down with the same thing I had last night.
You had lunch at that place?
Yes, it's a small restaurant, as well as a store.
Yeah, Yolanda, is something the matter?
I've got to do something.
Well, what, for heaven's sake? Yolanda, well, are you all right?
Yes.
Well, what's so important that you jump up from dinner like this? Yolanda, are you feeling sick again? Yolanda, what the dickens are you doing?
I'm going out on the balcony.
In your bathing suit? At night? In the middle of October?
I must. I have this need to bathe myself in the moonlight. The harvest moon. Oh, see how big and bright it is.
Yolanda, would you come back inside and get dressed? I mean, you just can't...
I must take a moon bath.
A moon bath?
Bathe in the light of the moon.
Yolanda, you're not being rational.
Is it so wrong to enjoy the moon?
Something's happening to you. I mean, last night, now this.
I'm beginning to appreciate the moon.
I insist that...
No! Don't touch me. I feel wonderful. So cool. Ooh, so cool. I can feel the moonlight seeping into my skin, through my body. It's incredible. Dr. Lunestra is right. Moonlight is magical. The force is flowing through my veins, vitalizing, purifying, cleansing me, every cell, every atom of me, washed by the moonlight.
Yolanda, come inside.
Yes, it's too chilly out there. But the moonlight felt so good.
Do you know what you just did?
I took a moon bath. I didn't expect to see you in today, Roxy.
I feel great. Whatever it was didn't take hold. But I don't know if I should mention it. It's just too silly.
What?
Well, during the night, I woke up and I just had to get up and stand in the moonlight.
You too? I went on the balcony for a moon bath. Oh, Bill thought I was crazy, but I had the most fantastic sensations.
Like a force through your body.
Exactly.
Well, I went back to bed. And this morning, I felt better than I have in years. And me a health food nut to begin with.
Let's have lunch there again. There's something about that food and moonlight that's out of this world.
Welcome, ladies. Apparently the Garden of the Moon agrees with you.
I have to admit that it does.
Then you and your friend will be interested in this invitation. I'm passing them out to my regular customers.
Garden of the Moon Weekend Retreat.
Yes. To the farm and resort in New Hampshire, where all our produce is grown. We've scheduled it for the October 30th weekend. There'll be a seminar on the power of the moon, and we'll have lots of time for meditation and study.
What does it cost?
Oh, no cost at all. We'll go by chartered bus, and naturally, everything in the farm is already provided for.
Well, it sounds fascinating. We'll have to think about it.
Do not hesitate too long, madame. I've had many reservations already this morning. And I promise you, it's a weekend you will not want to miss.
It sounds inviting, doesn't it? A weekend in New Hampshire would be a welcome relief from the New York City pace, no matter what the circumstances. But this trip sounds especially exciting, since Yolanda will visit the source of this unusual food. I hope she and Roxy decide to go, don't you? I'd hate to miss out on a trip like that. If they can get away, we'll go with them when I return shortly with Act 3. Weekend in New England sounds like a great idea. And it seems that Yolanda Westerville has her heart set on it. Of course, it's a perfect opportunity for us all to learn more about how this food is grown, to visit the farm and see firsthand where these unusual vegetables come from. But Yolanda's husband, Bill, has some very understandable misgivings.
Are you out of your mind, Yolanda? Go off to a mountaintop in New Hampshire with a bunch of moon nuts?
It's only a weekend, and it sounds intriguing.
And frankly, your hang-up with moonlight all of a sudden has me worried.
I don't see anything to worry about. I'm enjoying it.
I forbid you to go to this witch's Sabbath or whatever it is in New Hampshire or any place else where I wouldn't know exactly where you were.
Oh, Bill, there'll be 50 or 60 of us.
Don't be naive, Yolanda. You have no idea what or who is on that mountaintop.
It'll be fun finding out.
I want more details on exactly what and where this place is.
Well, I suppose I could find that out.
Yeah, I should think you'd want to. I certainly do.
All right. I'll get all the details I can. And if we don't come back, you can come looking for us.
It's not a joking matter to me.
A simple weekend in New England in the fall. There's nothing sinister in that.
Yes, Yes, madame, I can appreciate your husband's concern. Others have asked for their location, but we really prefer not to divulge it. You see, we would be overrun with curiosity seekers.
Yes, I guess you would.
The trip is open only to Garden of Moon customers, people who believe, as I do, in moonlight. If, however, madame thinks she cannot make the trip...
Oh, no, I really want to go.
We will leave from here on Friday, October 30th at 6 p.m. sharp.
No, we'll just have to go along with it.
Then I can put you down for a definite reservation.
Yes, and for my secretary, too.
Splendid.
Well, we'll be there. Now, I've got to get back to the office.
Good day, madame. Lunestra here.
We're ready for October 30th. Are you?
Almost, yes. I have 4 more open reservations, but I know I'll have them filled.
Good. The harvest is splendid this month. We're looking forward to your arrival.
We're all set, Roxy. I made her reservations with Dr. Lunestra.
Is Mr. Westerville still so set against me?
Yes, but I'm going anyway.
Mrs. Westerville's office?
Yeah, is she there, Roxy? It's Eric Harrison.
Oh, she's here. The lab.
Hi, Eric. What's the story?
Yeah, that second sample tests out just like the first. There's no difference.
I see. Well, I thought I was on to something.
I'm so sorry. We couldn't come up with what you were expecting, but that's the way it goes.
It's okay. Thanks, Eric.
Bye.
Well, I'm going to have to make a business deal with Dr. Lunestra. His secret ingredient defies analysis.
You can talk with him on the weekend retreat.
Exactly what I intend to do.
Still set on going to New Hampshire, eh?
We leave day after tomorrow.
Great. I'll come down and see you off.
Well, you've had a change of heart.
I don't think there's anything to worry about. I was concerned about that stuff you were eating. I thought that's what was giving you hallucinations.
Hallucination?
Yeah, but the carrots from the Garden of the Moon are just plain old garden variety carrots.
How do you know?
Well, I had one analyzed.
You what?
Yeah, I took one of those carrots to an old college chum. He's with the Department of Agriculture.
And what did he tell you?
Well, no higher nutrients. Nothing special about it, except one thing. He said it had been grown in very poor soil. So I asked him if it could possibly have been grown on a mountaintop in New Hampshire.
And?
Well, he gave me a strange look and said, yes, it could have. Well, I told him the story, and he just laughed. I don't think you're in any danger. Just surprised that you would fall for this guy's line. But if you enjoy it, go ahead.
But, Bill, you've seen the change in me, and I've felt it.
Okay, I just wanted to let you know I won't stand in your way. Have a good time. Go off to New Hampshire and enjoy your Garden of the Moon.
This is the first time I've been out of town for a weekend in years.
Too bad it wasn't earlier in the month. The foliage up here would have been glorious.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention? We are turning into the driveway now. We have arrived at our humble resort. Fortunately, we have a bright moon tonight. Your first glimpse of our Garden of the Moon will be just as it should be, in full moonlight. All your luggage will be taken care of, and after you've settled, we'll gather for an evening snack. Off the bus, everybody, please.
It's freezing.
But where are the buildings? All I see is a mountain.
Entirely underground. My assistants will soon be opening the gardens to the moonlight. They are up on the summit. We'll visit them later.
This is fascinating.
Ladies and gentlemen, you will kindly follow me. Don't be alarmed. Once inside the mountain, you'll find our accommodations quite comfortable.
Everything underground. How unusual.
Yes, it is necessary for privacy and convenience. During our retreats, we will never see the light of day, you might say. Welcome, everyone, to the Garden of the Moon.
How How beautiful.
It's so modern.
This is the lobby, of course. Sleeping quarters are on 2 upper floors. Dining and recreation are below. We will visit them all.
Well, everything's so gleaming.
Cleanliness is another secret of our success. Ladies and gentlemen, my assistants will show you to your individual quarters. After you've refreshed, we will assemble here.
Well, you said the place was modest. I'd call it elegant. Small, but elegant.
We think of it as compact. Come, let me show you to your quarters. If you'll just step inside the elevator.
A moving broom closet, I'd call it.
But compact, eh? You see, our layout here is all up and down. In fact, from top to bottom, our establishment is 700 feet.
Really?
But for practical purposes, somewhat narrow. The hallway is circular, you see, with the rooms surrounding it. Here we are. These are your quarters. Again, compact. Make yourself comfortable and join us in the lobby in 1 hour. Just take the elevator.
Okay. See you later. Look, our suitcases are here already. What's the matter, Roxy?
I'm nervous.
Why?
This place is so closed in.
You're not claustrophobic, are you?
No, not that. But it's so strange. I feel like I'm in a submarine.
Well, that's part of the novelty, I suppose. Why don't you take a hot shower? There doesn't seem to be a tub, but the shower will relax you. Then we'll join the others.
Yeah, maybe I will.
And cheer up. We're here to enjoy ourselves.
I do feel better. Just the excitement of the trip, I guess.
Just in time, ladies. We're just about to start the evening.
You mentioned a snack. We're famished.
Yes, of course, in a little while. Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. As you can see, the wall panels are sliding up to reveal a circle of seats. Would you all kindly be seated? We are going to start our weekend with a short explanation of why we are here and what to expect. Now, you may think it strange that each of the seats has a belt. Kindly fasten yours across your lap. It's just part of the experience. We are now lowering a screen on which we will vividly demonstrate tonight's experience. Let me know when all belts are in place.
This is weird. I don't get the belt bit.
For some weeks now, you have all enjoyed the produce from our humble lunar garden. And this weekend, we'll top off that experience. All belts in place? Yes. Good.
What's happening? The whole place is shaking.
Is it an earthquake?
And now for the explanation you all so well deserve. If you will look at the screen, you will see the planet Earth from half a mile up. You see, my friends, we are in a spacecraft on our way to the planet Lunaris. I am a Lunarian. The planet Lunaris lies undiscovered on the far side of the moon. Oh, I can readily understand the disbelief on your faces. Is this some kind of joke? Some theatrical trick? I'm afraid not, my friends. You are all destined for the planet Lunaris with me. You see, in dining on our moon-grown foods, you have been purifying yourselves. Tenderizing might be a better word. For this is harvest time in the garden of the moon. Lunestra here, calling Lunaris.
Come in, Lunestra.
We are on our way. A fine harvest aboard.
Landing preparations are completed and waiting.
I suppose I'll be going out again shortly.
I am afraid so. The director wants to lay
say is that the Lunarians seem to have the gourmet flair. I wonder where their appetites will lead them after that. A bit of French fare, perhaps, or Polynesian? At any rate, Yolanda and Roxy are certainly going to be late for work on Monday. It's all very well to follow a new fad, but it's mighty dangerous to follow people you don't know to moonlight retreats in New England. I'll have some more thoughts on the moon when I return shortly. Well, here I am, still sitting in this shaft of moonlight. If you don't mind, I think I'll move over next to you. I felt a sudden chill. The next time I look at the moon, I'm going to wonder about that undiscovered planet that lies behind it, and whose people cultivate gardens here on Earth. I wonder if the Lunarians could have something to do with all those unexplained disappearances we hear about every year. Our cast included Kim Hunter, Paul Hecht, Evie Juster, and Ralph Bell. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown.
This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre.
Until next time, pleasant dreams.
The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. As he looks into the face of death at the hands of his enemies, Shakespeare's young King Richard II says, "The love of wicked men converts to fear, that fear to hate, and hate turns one or both to worthy danger and deserved death." We're about to see how a kind of love became so poisoned with fear and evil that it became transformed into brutality and hatred, and finally, a kind of death. Our mystery drama, The Corpse That Would Not Die, was adapted from the Émile Zola classic Thérèse Raquin, especially for the Mystery Theater, by Arnold Moss, and stars Patricia Elliott. The year is 1865. The scene, the left bank of Paris during the last few years of the reign of Napoleon III. The Passage du Pont Neuf is a dark and gloomy corridor, no more than 30 yards long, a block away from the River Seine. The air is the wet, chilling air of a vault, for the sun never touches the Passage du Pont Neuf. A row of run-down, dismal shops fronts on either side of the narrow street. One bears the sign, Raquin, Dry Goods. It is evening. Inside, by the gloomy light of a flickering oil lamp, the proprietress of the musty little shop, Madame Raquin, a plump old lady in her late 60s, is seated in a wheelchair. A huge red cat snuggles on her lap.
Camille, my dear.
Yes, Mother.
You've locked the iron shutters over the shop window.
Yes, I have, Mother.
Therese, you've put away the needles and thread Madame Grivet did not purchase.
I have, Madame Raquin.
Is my cup of chamomile tea ready, Therese?
Here it is, Madame.
What a wonderful fragrance chamomile has. I think I would never have a night of peaceful sleep without my cup. Will you join me, Camille?
Each night you ask, each night I answer. No, thank you, Mother.
Now, I think only of your good, my precious boy. You are not the strongest man in the world.
Tell me again, Mother, for the 10,000th time. I know.
You must not mock your mother. Your mother loves you. If I didn't see that things were done for you, who would?
Do you forget? I now have a wife, have I not, Therese?
Yes, Camille, you certainly have a wife.
And you're as strong as I am weak. And beautiful, what's more? What else could a man ask for?
What I do, Camille, I do.
For my own good, I know.
Francois, you're getting heavier every day. You've grown to be the biggest cat in the neighborhood. And the handsomest. Well, thank goodness tomorrow is Thursday.
I'll have to put more oil in the table lamp.
Oh, and have you seen that there's enough firewood for a really good fire? Inspector Michaud likes a warm fire.
Yes, there's plenty of wood.
We mustn't let Police Inspector Michaud think we're pinching pennies.
Not with your 40,000 francs in the bank, we mustn't.
I'll take your cup, Madame, if you're finished.
By the way, I've asked a friend of mine to join us at Domino's tomorrow night. Fellow employee at the office.
Who is he? What's he like?
Tall, handsome. Name's Laurent. Laurent Duchesne. The women can't keep their eyes off him. Or their hands. Fancies himself a portrait painter. You'll like him, Mother. So would you, Therese.
I look forward to meeting him.
10 o'clock, bedtime. Therese, whenever you are ready to lift this poor cripple out of her wheelchair and up into her bed.
I'm ready.
Thank you, my dear. Up, Francois. Off my lap.
Dreadful animal.
You said something.
No, nothing.
Is there anything I can do to help?
As always, just stay out of the way. Now, here we go, Madame. Your right arm round my neck.
I'll go up ahead. I think the door to Mother's room is closed.
If only Camille were well and strong, he would carry me to my bed.
We both know that, Madame. As his wife, I have learned to live with it.
The door was open all the time.
There you are, Madame. I'll be back to undress you in a moment. May the time come when I shall carry you to your bedroom for the last time.
What was that, Therese?
Only that someday soon may the good Lord see fit to put life back into your limbs. Is there anything else, Madame?
No, thank you. I'm quite sleepy. Good night to you both.
Sleep well, Mother.
Good night, Madame.
I heard what you said to my mother. Why do you hate her so?
No more than I despise you. I made my bed without realizing what I was getting into. Now I have no choice but to lie in it.
I am your husband. This is your home.
So you keep telling me. But for me, this is no home. It's more like a chilling, newly dug grave.
Therese.
Don't touch me. The touch of your hand turns my stomach. Oh. Yes, by all means, bring your friend tomorrow night. It will be refreshing to have a man in the house.
Shut your ugly mouth.
You slapped me. You dared. You little weakling dared.
No, stop it, Therese. Now put down that poker. You'll kill me.
If I did, it might be the best thing that could happen to both of us.
You're sure you won't join us at Domino's, Monsieur Laurent?
Not till I finish Camille's portrait.
As you please. I have a 3 blank, which I place here. What do you say to that, Camille?
Blank 4 here, Inspector Michaud.
4, 6 here.
And double 6 here. My game again. This has been my night for dominoes.
The tea, madame, if you are ready.
Oh, Monsieur Duchesne, time for a cup of tea and a biscuit.
Oh, thank you, madame. In a moment. A few more strokes around Camille's eyes, and his portrait will be finished. And do call me Laurent, won't you?
Oh, if it pleases you. Inspector Michaud, your tea. And do finish your story about this, Bernard.
Thank you. As I was saying before, this chap Bernard got away with murdering 2 of his wealthy wives. In both instances, he came up behind them while they were taking a bath in their big tin tubs, held their heads under water until they were quite dead. It wasn't until he killed the 3rd that we caught up with him. That was his big mistake.
Are you saying, Inspector, that he should have done away with each of them by, varying the pattern of his murders?
If he had, it might have taken us a bit longer to find him. You brew a tasty cup of tea, Therese?
Thank you, Inspector.
Laurent, when may we look at my portrait?
After we've had our tea, dear friend. I think you'll be pleased.
You paint from models, of course.
Oh, of course.
Women models?
Well, certainly. Mostly what I suppose you might call, friends of mine.
You mean women come to your studio and pose for you in the, without clothes?
Well, of course. Why not?
Well, that must make you feel ever so funny. I know it would make me feel strange. I wouldn't know where to turn my eyes.
Really, Camille? Your tea, Monsieur Laurent.
Oh, thank you. You know, I once had this lovely redhead as a model. Beautiful features, firm white flesh, gorgeous body. And I was right in the middle of...
Oh, dear, what have I done? Oh, I am so terribly sorry.
Oh, you spilled the whole cup of tea all over Laurent's trousers.
Therese, how could you be so awkward?
Here, let me wipe your trousers with this cloth.
No, it's really all right.
My hand is still shaking. Oh, please do forgive me.
As though it had never happened, my dear Therese.
Francoise, the cat, happened to brush by me as I was handing you the cup.
No, not another word. You know, when you look at me with those big, sad, beautiful eyes, I feel that I am the one to blame.
You're very kind.
Oh, Therese, would you get a couple of more logs from outside? The fire's getting a bit low.
Yes, madame.
Yes, madame. Don't you call her mother?
I do not. Excuse me.
Let me help you with the logs, Therese.
Oh, there's no need, Laurent. She is strong.
I can carry them all alone, but if you wish...
I insist. Now, let me go with you, please.
The domino pieces are set up for another game. May I help myself to another biscuit?
Oh, please do, Inspector. Oh, what a charming man, your painter, Camille.
Yes, I'm very fond of him.
He makes Therese a little nervous.
Is that why she spilled the tea over him?
Of course. Didn't you see that?
Her hands are as steady as a rock. Not a nerve in her whole beautiful body.
Inspector Michaud, you see everything. Even sometimes when there's nothing there.
Perhaps.
Now, you see? You were wrong, Inspector. They seem to be getting along quite well. She's not a bit nervous.
And here, madame, are your logs.
Thank you.
Will you permit me to place one or two on the fire?
Oh, thank you, Laurent. But isn't it time we saw the portrait you've been painting of Camille?
Why not?
Turn up the lamp, Therese.
I turn the easel so, and there it is.
Oh, no. I can't believe it. I really don't believe it.
Is that how I look to you, Laurent?
But that's not you he's painted, Camille. Why, the features are twisted and distorted. The hair soaking with water. And the color, the greenish, the look of a man who's been drowned. Laurent, what have you done?
Well, an artist only paints what he sees.
But that is not a portrait of my son. What you have painted is the face of death.
Laurent, my darling. Oh, how wonderful it is to be here in your little studio.
How happy I am that you're here.
Oh, if you could only know what I've been through these past few months. Oh, buried alive in that horrible shop. And when he puts his cold, clammy hands on me, my blood freezes.
But we're changing all that, aren't we? You and I.
Oh, yes. Yes, we are, my darling. Oh, Laurent, I love you so.
And I love you. There's a cloud of fire that surrounds you. It burns into my body. I could never...
What's wrong?
These stolen moments are too few, Therese. They're not enough for me.
Nor for me.
I want to sleep the whole night beside you and be awakened in the morning by your warm kisses.
Oh, I want that too, my love. But how can we?
Accidents happen every day. Do they not?
Laurent.
A foot may slip. A tile could fall, and the only guilty party would be the wind.
But how, Laurent? How?
Trust me, my angel. I shall find a way. Did you hear anything?
Outside the door. It sounded like Madame's cat, Francois.
How could that be?
He may have followed me here.
Shh. Quiet, quiet. It's nobody. It's not a thing. It was only in our imagination.
But why should we have both imagined the voice of Francois at the very same moment? Hold me close, Laurent. I'm very afraid.
Ralph Waldo Emerson, a wise man that he was, observed that whenever a man commits a crime, God finds a witness. That every secret crime has its reporter. Laurent and Thérèse Raquin have already committed one crime, adultery. They are contemplating still another. Was there a reporter to their first act? Where will their dark plans lead them? To Act Two, of course. I shall return shortly. It's a Sunday afternoon toward the end of September at Saint-Ouen, a beautiful wooded section on the outskirts of Paris, along the River Seine, where the less fashionable Parisians of 100 years ago gather for their picnics. On this particular morning, Thérèse Raquin, her husband Camille, and her newly acquired lover, Laurent, are in a narrow little rowboat they have hired. They've spotted a tiny island in the river away from the Sunday crowds, where they can set up their picnic lunch in a clearing among the trees.
There, we shouldn't have too much farther to go.
A few minutes, no more, and we should be there, Laurent.
Well, take your time. We're not in all that much of a hurry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Keep the boat steady, please.
I will.
Now, remember, I can't swim, not a stroke. When I was a child, Mother never allowed me to swim. Of course, you, on the other hand...
Like a fish, Camille, like a fish.
We're going to have the island all to ourselves.
Oh, the water looks so cold and forbidding. This must be the deepest part of the river.
Since we're in no particular hurry, is it all right if we just drift for a while?
Well, why not? Just don't move about, either of you, please.
Oh, everything is so beautiful. So quiet and peaceful.
We can hardly see the people on the shore, and nobody can see us. It's our own little world.
Oh, floating here on the river with my wife and my best friend. I wish this moment would never have to come to an end.
Yes, but like everything else, dear friends, it must. In fact, it has. For you, Camille.
What are you doing, Laurent? You'll upset the boat. We'll all fall into the river. We'll drown.
No, not all of us, Camille. Not all of us.
Stop him.
Stop him. Therese, stop him. Hold on to your Therese. I've got him. He can't get away.
He's holding onto the side of the boat.
We'll take care of that. My foot on his fingers.
So.
And now, over the side, my boy, into the... He sunk his teeth into the flesh of my neck. Let go, Camille, let go. Now into the river, my friend. Start rowing, Therese, while I hold his head under the water. So. Are you all right, Therese?
I don't know. I think so.
Well, then don't waste a moment. Slide over the side of the boat into the water quickly.
Right.
From this side. And then I'll capsize the boat and join you. Help!
Help!
Help! Somebody help!
Help!
We're drowning, all of us! Help! And that, Inspector Michaud, is exactly what happened. When the boat overturned, I reached first to save Therese, and by the time I'd rescued her, it was too late, alas, for poor Camille. He disappeared under the waters of the Seine.
Dear me, how dreadful. Monsieur Laurent, how shall we break the news to his dear mother?
That's exactly why I came to you, Inspector. You, as a former policeman, as well as one of Madame's oldest friends...
You did well, Monsieur Laurent. Poor Therese, so young and a widow. What will become of her, I wonder? Who's to console her?
It would be an honor and a privilege to do whatever I could for the widow of one of my dearest friends.
So?
I apologize to the memory of Camille for what I'm about to say at this sad moment. But if Therese would accept me, I should be very proud to be her husband.
You're a fine fellow, Laurent, and most understanding. Tomorrow, the salvage men of the police will drag the river for the body.
Drag? Oh, of course.
There must be a proper certificate of death issued by the city coroner at the morgue, because officially, legally, where there's no body, there is, of course, no death.
Good morning, monsieur. You're bright and early, as usual.
I must find the body of Camille Raquin.
So you say each morning you come here to the morgue to visit my unfortunate guests.
Oh.
Still not used to it after coming here every morning for, what is it, over a week?
Well, it's the smell, the dampness of the walls, the rows of gray stone slabs.
Yes, takes getting used to. This way, please. Here. Would this one be your friend?
Well, it's a little hard to tell. The flesh is so decomposed. That's him. That's Camille. They found him at last.
Now, don't take it too hard, monsieur. We all have to go sometime, sooner or later.
The eyes. The lids are wide open. The eyes are staring right at me.
Easy, monsieur. You're sure he's the one?
Oh, yes, I am.
But all you have to do now is to swear to the identity of the corpse, and a legal certification of death will be issued to the police.
Thank you, monsieur. And, for your trouble?
Oh, the gentleman is most generous. Thank you, monsieur.
Not at all. That certificate of death may well be worth some 40,000 francs.
Laurent, are you all right? Wake up. Wake up, you're shivering.
Oh, Therese, I managed to doze off for a moment. I had another horrible nightmare.
So did I. Tell me, what was yours?
It was before we were married. It was a dark, starless night. I'd left my studio, was running through the streets to you in your bedroom. I got to the passage, to the back door. I lit a match to light my way. It went out. I lit another. In the dim, bluish light, I heard weird voices. I thought I saw monstrous shapes against the walls. It was hard to breathe. I climbed the steps. I opened the door, which you had left unlocked. I quickly undressed. I got into bed where you, all white, were waiting for me. I started to kiss you.
Yes. What then?
It was not you, but Camille, as I had seen him in the morgue, green, disfigured, his hair plastered to his face by the waters of the river.
Oh, how dreadful.
The corpse held out its arms to me, cackling hideously, poking out a stump of a black tongue from between its white teeth.
Oh, Laurent.
And then a moment later, I was standing in front of a cracked mirror looking at the red scar on my neck, the one Camille had ripped into my flesh with his teeth. And as I looked, with Camille's grinning face behind mine, the wound grew larger and larger, eating a black hole into my neck on fire. And always his twisted face behind me, mocking me with his dead yellow eyes.
Oh, Laurent, go back to sleep, if you can.
Tell me what you dreamed.
It was much worse. Much more frightening. I, too, dreamed of a time before our marriage.
What happened?
Well, it was a time when I loved you and you loved me. A time when the touch of your lips on mine, your body against mine, was the only reason for my being alive my entire life.
What happened in the dream, Therese?
You embraced me. You kissed me. We became one.
And then?
Then I awoke, and I found myself biting into my pillow to stifle my sobs as I used to when Camille was still alive. Oh, how long has it been since you wanted to touch me, Laurent? How long has it been since I wanted to touch you? Why is it? Since the day we murdered Camille, we've never once desired each other.
I don't want to talk about it.
To me, that is the most horrifying thing that could have happened to both of us. Because now, Laurent, we are both murderers, with nothing to hold us together.
How long have you been sitting there, staring into the flames?
I couldn't sleep. I was cold. I got out of bed and lit a fire. We killed Camille. His corpse is always here between us. His dead body is turning our limbs to ice.
Therese, look.
Where? What is it?
There, in that shadowy corner over there. He's followed us here. It's Camille.
Where?
Don't move, Therese. How green his face is and how thin. How yellow those staring eyes. He's come back from the grave.
Quiet, Laurent. You'll wake Madame Raquin.
What shall we do?
You fool. Look closely. Have you forgotten?
Wait. It's only his portrait.
The one you painted that Thursday night, the first time we met.
Of course. His portrait. By the light of the fire, it looks so... Turn it to the wall, Therese.
No, I can't. I can't go anywhere near it.
Then I will. I'll do even better.
What are you looking for?
My large hunting knife.
It's there, on top of the dresser.
You remember how upset the old woman was when she looked at the portrait the first time?
She said it was not Camille's face you had painted, but the face of death. Mm-hmm. How right she was.
Now neither she, nor you, nor I will ever have to look at it again.
Oh, Laurent, what are you doing?
Never again. Never.
You've ripped the portrait to shreds.
And with it, the last memory of Camille. For both of us, I hope.
In the writings of an ancient Roman philosopher, we find these words. A man who has done another man an injustice can receive no greater punishment than to have done the injustice. And however harsh his punishment, no penalty can be more brutal than the whipping he takes from his own guilt. True. I shall return shortly with Act 3. What a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive. The guilt starts piling up and in the end destroys us. Therese and her husband Laurent have already wrecked what love there ever was between them by the murder of Camille. How much further will their guilt lead them? It's another Thursday evening. In the dingy little room behind her tiny dry goods shop, Madame Raquin sits in her wheelchair, the cat Francois on her lap, playing dominoes with her old friend, Police Inspector Michaud.
And I place my double blank here, Madame, next to your 6 blank. What do you say to that?
I say, Inspector Michaud, that you remained a bachelor all your life because you couldn't be all that lucky, both at love and at domino.
10 o'clock, Madame. Time for bed.
Oh, already? Well, so it is, so it is.
Would you like me to carry you upstairs, Mother?
Oh, that's very kind of you, Laurent, my boy, but Therese is used to it by now.
Up we go. So...
Good night, Michaud. Perhaps I'll have better luck next Thursday. Good night, Laurent.
Good night, Madame Raquin.
Sleep well, Mother.
The old girl is slowing down a bit, I fear.
Yes, I'm afraid so. That case you were telling us about before, I didn't quite follow you. The young woman who was drowned.
Oh, that one. Not a trace of water in her lungs, which led the authorities to believe she had died of natural causes.
And, what made them change their minds?
A person can drown or be drowned if he's taken by surprise. Surprise suffocation, we call it. Not a drop of water in the lungs. It all happens
Madame
when...
Raquin gets heavier and heavier every time I carry her up and down those stairs.
Oh, time for me to go. Must get my 8 hours. Keeps me young and spry. I'll say good night to you two.
Good night, Inspector.
Until next Thursday.
Until next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Beautiful night, isn't it?
A stupid, boring old fool.
Oh, why can't we just pack up and leave? Start a new life somewhere. Anywhere.
Well, what would we use for money? When that miserable old woman signs a paper handing over her 40,000 francs to us, we can think about going away. But not before. But even if we were to...
Yes, Laurent?
Even if we went to the ends of the earth, he would follow us.
Camille.
Who else? When we lie awake at night in our bed, you near one edge, I near the other, he lies there between us.
Stop saying those things.
No, I tell you, Therese, I can hear him breathing. I can feel his cold, wet body next to mine, turning the sheets to ice. Therese, you're not really a widow. You never were.
What are you saying?
You're still married to the man we drowned. There's somebody at the front door. Do you hear it?
Who could it be in the middle of the night?
Don't move. I'll see.
Oh, it's Francois. I didn't know he was still out. I thought we'd already let him in.
That cursed cat. Go away. Away.
Soaking wet, dripping with water.
And it's a beautiful night out there. The sky is clear and filled with stars. Shh. Don't you jump onto that table. Give me that iron poker, Therese. No, get down off that table.
Look out, Laurent. He's getting ready to spring at you.
I'm not afraid of him.
He's going to spring for your neck. Watch out.
Look at those unblinking yellow eyes, how they stare at me. And why does he drip with the smell of the river?
Put down that poker, Laurent. Look out. He's going for your throat.
I know who you are. Camille. I killed you once. Now stay dead, Camille. Die.
Let him be, Laurent. Your neck is bleeding where he bit you.
Let it bleed. It's bled before. You know something, Therese?
What?
The day I first set eyes on you, I cursed that day.
And so do I, Laurent. That was the blackest day of my life. Laurent, why did you throw the painting to the floor and the easel?
I'm disgusted with the whole thing. I do nothing but paint, and look at them. Every one of them.
They're not bad, Laurent.
That's not the point. Look, here's Monsieur Tristan, the tobacconist, and here Madame Colombe, the greengrocer, and there, the 3 children of the postman. Can't you see what's wrong? Are you blind?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Look at the eyes, the texture of the skin, the expression on the faces. They're all the same. Every face I paint has his expression. Some feature of Camille's. On every face a look of agony and terror.
I begin to see what you mean.
In spite of everything I do, the mouth of each of them is distorted into an ugly grimace. The same look that was on Camille's face when we drowned him.
When you drowned him.
What?
You picked him up. You stepped on his fingers when he clung to the side of the boat. You threw him into the river. You pushed his head into the water and kept it there as he choked out his dying breath.
Therese, you're as guilty as I am of Camille's death.
It's your word against mine.
You liar! We planned every step of it together.
Take hands off my throat. I can't breathe.
I murdered Camille, and so did you. We did it together. Say so, Therese. Say so.
All right. We did it together. You and I, we both murdered. Madame Raquin, what are you doing here?
I heard every word you said. I was here in my wheelchair, in the doorway. Your backs were to me. You killed my son, my only son. I shall call
What's wrong with her?
Her body's gone rigid. Her hands and feet are stiff. She doesn't move. Only her eyes. We must call a doctor. She's had a stroke.
Easy with her now, Laurent.
Now, hold the chair still while I put her into it. There.
Oh, look at her eyes. You see us, hear us, don't you? But you can't speak a word, can you, dear madame?
Nor lift so much as a finger of your dying old body.
She says everything with her eyes. She accuses us with her eyes.
Isn't it a pity, old lady? We murdered that miserable son of yours, Therese and I. We drowned him in the river. And nobody will ever know. Except the 3 of us.
I curse you from the bottom of my soul for what you've done.
Maybe it would be wiser if she didn't sit here tomorrow night when Inspector Michaud comes.
Well, what harm is there? He'd ask for her, surely. Besides, the doctors told us there's no hope for her. If she ever manages to speak again, it'll be the last breath she ever takes.
Shall we wait for Therese?
She'll be down in a moment. Let's set up the pieces for the game, shall we?
And how is my old friend, Madame Raquin? Ready to watch our dominoes game for the championship of the evening? I can see the light of anticipation shining in your eyes. And how is the good Francois?
Unfortunately, Inspector, the poor creature is still limping from whatever he did to his leg.
He sits there like some red-haired monarch, silent on Madame's lap, glaring at you, Laurent.
Sorry to delay the game, Inspector Michaud.
Ah, there you are, Therese. We're all set.
I'll sit here. Between you and Madame.
You begin, Laurent.
All right, I begin with a 4-3 piece.
Followed by my 3-5 piece. Here.
Mm-hmm. And a double 4. So.
Wait. Laurent, Therese. Look.
Well, what is it?
Madame Raquin. Her right hand. It's moving. Ever so slowly. With the greatest effort. She's forcing it up the leg of the table.
Well, this is the first time she's moved since her stroke.
Look at her eyes.
She's moving the tip of her index finger.
Trying to get our attention. Yes, madame, what is it you want? What can we do for you?
If my strength holds out, you'll know. Just watch my finger. I'm trying to trace a letter on the oilcloth.
She's made a T. And an H.
And an E. Now, an R. T-H-E-R.
She's spelling your name, Therese. Go on, madame. We're following you. Therese and... Therese and... L-A-U-R. Now she's spelling your name, Laurent. Therese and Laurent. Don't stop now, madame. Go on.
My strength is leaving me. I don't know if I can go on.
She's getting tired.
H-A-V-E. Therese and Laurent have what?
Her finger stopped. Her hand has slipped off the table and back into her lap.
Has either of you any idea what she might have been trying to tell us?
No, not the slightest.
Therese?
I wouldn't know.
What could she have meant? Therese and Laurent have what?
Therese and Laurent have murdered Camille. Drowned him. That's what I am trying to tell you. Drowned him.
I'm going up to sleep, Laurent. It's late.
How can you even think of sleep after what we saw her do tonight? We'll never be safe now. If she did it once, she could do it again.
Sooner or later, Michaud will learn the truth. She'll find a way to tell him.
Just being here in the same room with her is enough to make me sick. With her and with you.
You are sick, both of you. Poisoned with guilt and by each other.
You know how I despise you, Laurent. And myself.
Good. Loathe each other. Torment each other from morning till night. Keep digging your own graves, then bury yourselves alive in them. While I watch you destroy yourselves and each other. And that, my dear children, that is your punishment. Camille will be avenged.
Stiff and silent, Madame Raquin sits in her wheelchair, the big red cat in her lap, feasting her eyes on Laurent and Therese, eyes that crushed them with brooding hate. Murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. You suppose Émile Zola, at age 26, as he wrote the final page of his story, remembered those lines of Shakespeare? I shall return shortly. Émile Zola made this comment about Thérèse Raquin, one of the first of his many great novels. I looked at myself as a scientist. I applied to two living bodies, Therese and Laurent, the same method that a surgeon would apply to corpses. This in order to discover how conscience can drive a criminal to despair and madness, to degradation and moral decay. Our cast included Patricia Elliott, William Redfield, Mary Jane Higby, Roger DeKoven, and Arnold Moss. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
Bright and beautiful music. This is KIXI, Seattle.
And the time at KIXI now 11 o'clock.
CBS News. 4 bombs exploded late Monday night in Chicago's Loop and on posh Michigan Boulevard. 5 people were hurt, none seriously. I'm Mike Stanley reporting on the CBS Radio Network. With details of the Windy City explosions, here is CBS News reporter Jackie Castleberry.
4 locations in Chicago were bombed tonight within 20 minutes of each other. The first explosion occurred on the ground floor of the 100-story John Hancock building. The second exploded at the First National Bank of Chicago. 4 passers-by suffered minor injuries as they strolled by a city trash can where the bomb was hidden. The next target was an Israeli bank close to City Hall. The last bomb hit the city's Central Police headquarters. There was only minor damage, but officials have blocked off the area and restricted access to 5 other governmental buildings. Bomb and arson crews are now at the 4 locations hit, but there is no word on the type of explosives used or any clues as to who planted the bombs. Jackie Castleberry, CBS News, Chicago.
More CBS News in a moment.
Hi, I'm Flip Wilson, TV luminary, whatever that means.
And I'm Johnny Bench, baseball superstar, according to the bubblegum cards.
And I'm Geraldine Jones. You can call me anything you want, sugar. I love ball players.
Did you ever go with one?
My boyfriend Killer told me he was a catcher with the Dodger organization.
Was he?
Well, I went to Dodger Stadium and Killer was catching all right, selling beer and catching nickels and dimes.
What did you do?
I threw him a high inside knuckleball across the lips. I teach that turkey to lie to Geraldine.
Geraldine, I heard you're a crusade chairperson for the American Cancer Society.
Well, you heard right, honey. My fellow workers made me office chairperson because of my charm and powers of persuasion.
Well, you don't have to persuade much to get help in the fight against cancer.
No, mostly I make sure all those people who say they gave at the office actually give at the office.
If you haven't already given at the office, send a check to your American Cancer Society. We want to wipe out cancer in your lifetime.
If you're feeling generous, folks, don't fight the feeling. And that goes for you too, John.
And now the waiting game begins for the presidential candidates. They've made their last pitches for votes prior to the Tuesday Big 3 primaries in California, Ohio, and New Jersey. President Ford wound up his campaign with a motorcade tour of half a dozen Ohio towns, picturing challenger Ronald Reagan as a can't-win candidate. Reagan, having completed his stumping of Ohio Sunday, was back in California. The former governor's aides were trying to buy radio and TV time to counter the Ford commercial campaign, charging that as president, Reagan might start a war. Democratic frontrunner Jimmy Carter wrapped it all up in New Jersey, trying to convince voters not to cast ballots for uncommitted delegates backing California Governor Edmund Brown Jr. and Hubert Humphrey. Brown also was in New Jersey, trying to convince the uncommitted delegates to support only him. In Ohio, Frank Church conceded he does not expect to win there, but said he hopes to get a few delegates. Also in the Buckeye State, Morris Udall wrapped up 4 months of competing in primaries without winning one. He says he still hopes Ohio may give him his first victory, but at the end was talking of his quest for the presidency in the past tense. Many of the residents of southeastern Idaho, listed at first as missing in the flood spawned by the crumbling of the Teton Dam, have turned up alive. The latest casualty toll lists 7 confirmed fatalities, 522 injured. Authorities say between 30 and 40 people still are listed as missing. John Mangan of the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation says this week a top team will begin investigating the dam collapse.
We will go into it very thoroughly. It's the first dam that we've lost in 72 years of dam construction. There have been other dam failures for various reasons. So we will examine this one very carefully, and to say what happened now would be pure speculation.
No figures are available yet on estimates of total damage incurred in the flood. CBS News continues following this.
I'm George Herman, CBS News. This Tuesday, the presidential primary race winds up with elections in California, Ohio, and New Jersey. My colleague Neil Strauser and I will anchor CBS News coverage on the CBS radio network, with special broadcasts throughout the evening, on hourly news broadcasts, and with net alert bulletins when the developments warrant. Follow the trends and the results of the final presidential primaries with CBS News Tuesday night on the CBS radio network.
I'm Charles Osgood, CBS News. Join me on Newsbreak, mornings on most of these CBS radio network stations, as we explore this curious world of ours. Some days, I'll pick a major news story to explore in further detail. Other days, it may be a person who did not exactly make the headlines, but whose story is noteworthy in the course of human events. Newsbreak, one of the many broadcasts of news and commentary, along with hourly CBS News, updates to the minute on most of these CBS radio network stations.
It's up to President Ford now whether the United States will go to war against an aggressive strain of bees. The House Monday completed congressional action on a bill to ban the importation of honeybees except under specified conditions, and authorized the Agriculture Secretary to cooperate with farm organizations and other governments to eradicate and control the so-called Africanized bees. The bees were created in Brazil by interbreeding with a strain of honeybees imported from Africa. A 1972 National Academy of Sciences report said, because of its unprovoked mass stinging and frequent swarming, the Africanized bee is dangerous to people and animals. The Academy says the bees are moving north at the rate of 200 miles a year, and unless checked, could reach the U.S. border in 4 to 6 years. Mike Stanley, CBS News.
CBS for Seattle, this is KIXI.
The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. What beckoning ghost along the moonlight shade invites my steps and points to yonder glade? Evidently, Mr. Alexander Pope sees his ghosts at night in a garden. However, each of us has his own private ghost, and every now and then it beckons us. To what unknown place shall your ghost summon you? Our mystery drama, The Forever Alley, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Sam Dan and stars Larry Haynes and Marion Seldes. It is not as chic as tennis, nor yet as stylish as golf, but they say it has more adherents than both those games combined. I refer here, of course, to the ancient sport of skittles, which has evolved into the modern sport of bowling. Who can fail to be fascinated by the heavy ball as it careens swiftly down the glassy, smooth, and gleaming wooden lane and smashes into the head pin? Just a trifle off-center, and in the blink of an eye, none are standing. All 10 are lying on their sides, some still spinning from the violence at impact. Well, bowling, as you know, is a sport. And like all such pastimes, there are those who can take it and those who can leave it alone. Then
There are those to whom it's a religion.
Please sit down, Lieutenant Mulvaney.
Okay.
Now then.
Hold it, Doc. Now, before we go into now then, can we go over the ground rules?
The ground rules?
Well, you're the official psychiatrist. You're working for the police department.
I'm paid by the department. I'm working for you.
For me. Well, I just suppose after we go round and round a little bit with this thing, you should come to the conclusion that I'm nuts. Do you report that?
That's a very complicated question.
All I want is a simple answer.
I understand your problem, but I'm a doctor. I have an obligation to my patient. But as a public official, I have an equally important duty. Perhaps it might be best if you consulted a private psychiatrist.
I did.
Oh?
But I can't afford it anymore. I've already been there 10 times. We still haven't got past what happened to me when I was 5 years old.
But sometimes it's vital.
Now, look, Doc, what's bothering me right now has nothing to do with what happened when I was 5.
Can you be sure of that?
Yes, Doc, I'm sure.
What's your departmental assignment?
Missing persons.
Is the problem, as far as you know, job-related?
Oh, yes. Yes, but it's also personal. You see, I'm trying to find a man who's reported missing. He's also my brother-in-law, my sister's husband.
Yes?
And he's been gone a month.
Well, have you been able to make any progress at all?
Now, this is where it gets difficult.
Why?
Well, you see, the fact is, I know where he is.
You know where he is?
Yeah.
Then he isn't missing?
Oh, no. He's missing, all right. He's just as missing as he ever was.
You'll have to explain.
Henrietta, my sister, she marries a fellow named Bobby Clover. He's got a job, sells stocks and bonds. They live good, no kids, so they got plenty to spend on themselves. He's okay with money, so she's got no complaints in that department. However...
Yes?
He's got a sickness.
What is it?
Bowling.
Bowling? Do you call bowling a sickness?
Well, in his case.
Bowling? What other game calls for such coordination, such timing?
I'm only repeating what my sister tells me.
It is a game of consummate skill, completely devoid of all pretension.
Excuse me, Doctor, I didn't know you were a fan.
Yes, I'm a fan. In the literally derived sense of the word, fan, a shortening for fanatic. Let me understand. You say your brother-in-law is missing. Then you say you know where he is. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Then you add that despite the fact that you know where he is, he's still missing. You were about to expand on that.
Yeah. I know things weren't all that smooth between Bobby and Henrietta, but I had no idea how bad it was until one night somebody rings my bell. And who's standing there but my sister, Henrietta?
I have to talk to you, Joe.
All right. Can I get you something?
No, Joe, you've got to do something.
About what?
About Bobby.
Now, Bobby's your problem, Henrietta.
I never see him.
Never?
All day long, he's out working.
Well, you can't hate him for that.
But he isn't home at night either.
Oh? Is there, someone else?
Not someone, something.
Something?
Some women have to worry about a blonde. My rival is a bowling ball and 10 sticks of wood.
Now, look, you knew he liked bowling before you married him.
To like it is one thing. To worship it is something else.
Hey, that's a pretty strong word.
I never see him.
You still love him?
Yes.
Well, there's only one sure way you'll keep him. Become involved. Go bowling with him.
I tried that. It doesn't work. I only embarrass him half the time the ball rolls into the gutter.
Well...
And when it doesn't, it kind of teeters along the edge. And then maybe it knocks over one single solitary pin. Maybe, if I'm lucky, too. My highest score is 23.
23?
And I cheated. Please, Joe, talk to him.
All right. What do you want me to tell him?
You always know the right thing to say at the right time. I have every confidence in you. And did you go to see your brother-in-law, Lieutenant?
Yes, Doctor.
And what did you say to him?
I went to the lanes where he hangs out. It must have been 2 a.m. The place was practically empty. I think they were getting ready to close. He was the only customer left. He was all by himself. And he was still bowling. Bobby?
Oh, Joe. What are you doing here?
Looking for you.
I didn't know you bowled.
A little, now and then.
Oh, you want to roll a few frames? I think it's too late for this place, but they've got some all-night alleys a little ways from here.
No, some other time, Bobby.
Oh. Well, what can I do for you?
Want to stop off somewhere and have some coffee?
Sure.
And talk?
Well, she asked you to see me, didn't she?
Sure. But she's got a pretty good case, you have to admit that.
I'm never home. She never sees me. We never spend time together. You don't get married to live this kind of life. Marriage is companionship. Marriage is doing things together. Marriage is sharing. Marriage is caring. Joe, I know what I'm doing isn't right.
Well, if you know it isn't right, why do you keep on doing it?
Because I can't help myself.
Oh, come on, Bobby.
I'm hooked. Do you understand? No. No. How could you understand? Here. You see this ball? This is what I live for. Watch me aim it. Watch me approach the line. Watch me release it and send it down the lane. Now look. See it? It's a strike. You see him scatter? Look, that's what I live for. Sounds crazy, huh?
Well,
right now, this is the only time I feel alive. Oh, sure, I can go through the motions, I can do my job, and I do it well. But everything else is just killing time. This, right here, this is living. I just want to spend the rest of my life bowling.
Yeah. What do you say we have that cup of coffee anyhow, huh?
Sure. You got your car? I came down with some other guys, but they had to leave early.
No, I'm parked right in front.
Okay, let me change my shoes and stuff and settle my bill. I'll meet you outside.
Yeah, okay. And that's when he disappeared, Doctor.
Is he a good bowler, your brother-in-law?
Yeah, I suppose.
Would you happen to know his average?
No, I don't know. I think I heard him say something like 220.
220?
Mm-hmm.
That's tournament caliber, 220. If I could bowl 220, I'd shut up shop and... I'm about 180 myself. I think I'm getting better all the... Oh, yes. Now, you said... That's when he disappeared. Please explain.
Well, all he was going to do, as I said, was change his shoes, pay his bill, and meet me in the car. How long does that take?
It doesn't take me more than 3 minutes.
Yeah, sure. So, I go out the door, get into the car, even start up the motor. I turn on the radio, find one of those nice, easy music stations. I figure he's excited. It'll help calm him down. Maybe we can talk sensibly. So I'm sitting there and sitting there. It's a couple of minutes, then 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Then I see a guy. He turns out to be the manager. He comes out, starts to lock the door. Hey, hold it a second. Wait a minute. Now, you can't lock up.
Who says I can't lock up? I gotta go home and go to sleep, too.
Now, just wait a minute, huh?
You want to bowl, you get here at a decent hour. First, you make a reservation. Sometimes we got leagues.
I don't want to bowl.
And what are you doing here?
There's still somebody inside.
Oh, there ain't nobody inside. I make sure I'm the last one out.
My brother-in-law is still in there.
I'm trying to tell you.
My brother-in-law, Bobby Clover. Do you know Bobby Clover?
Do I know Bobby Clover? Bobby Clover is sending my kids through college.
Well, he's still in there.
Well, it's an exaggeration, but you just give me some more customers like Bobby Clover.
I tell you, Bobby's still in there.
He is, huh? Oh. Look, pal, you have maybe a little bit of a load on you?
No, but I'll tell you what I do have. I made this badge.
Oh, well, you're a cop. Look, is Bobby in a jam?
Come on, open up.
Sure.
Turn on the lights.
Well, you can see. The joint's empty.
Bobby? Where could he have gone?
What do you mean, where could he have gone? This is it. Over there beside that glass wall. You know, right behind it, we got the coffee shop. Those 2 doors are the restrooms. That door's my office.
All right, let's look.
Look where? Before I close, I always double-check everything out.
Well, let's do it again.
Well, you satisfied? There's nobody here.
There's no way out except through the front doors, right?
This is it.
Yeah, wait a minute. I remember he said to me, I'll change shoes and settle up. Wait for me in the car. Now, there was nobody else in the place. Everyone had already gone. I remember you were sitting there at the counter reading a paper.
Maggie did.
And I went out. Now, what did you see? What did you hear?
Bobby sings out, "Hey, Fred, what do I owe you? Let's settle up." So I totaled the tab. And I see I don't have any more receipts left in the book. "Hey, Bobby," I say, "I gotta go in an office for a second and get a new receipt book."
Yeah?
Well, that's what I do. I go into the office. I pick up a receipt book, and I'm on my way out again when the phone rings. It's the wife. "Hey, Fred," she says, "bring me home a quart of chocolate ice cream." And I says, "Hey, Ruthie, how you gonna lose weight, huh?"
How long were you on the phone?
With Ruthie? That's my wife. It's 1, 2, 3, hello and goodbye.
How long would you estimate?
30 seconds, maybe 45 seconds, a minute top.
All right. And then?
Well, then I pick up the receipt book and come out, and he's gone. Bobby's gone.
How could he be gone?
He's gone. G-O-N-E, gone.
Look, didn't it strike you as strange? He said he wanted to settle up, and then when you came out, he was gone?
So what? I figure he's in a hurry. It can wait till tomorrow. I assume he just left.
Well, it's impossible for him to just walk out of this place without my seeing him. There's only one exit, right?
Right.
And I'm parked directly in front of your door.
You are?
So you tell me, how could he leave without my seeing him? How could he? Come on, answer my question.
Hey, Lieutenant, what do you want from me?
It's a question we hear quite often. And what can we want from poor Fred, the manager? At any rate, let us review. Do we have all the elements? There is only one way out of the bowling alley, and Lieutenant Joe Mulvaney had it covered. There's no place to hide in the bowling alley, and the place has been thoroughly searched. So, what are we to assume? Well, we can safely assume that we shall all meet here for the second act. The stone, and ye shall find me. Cleave the wood, and there I am. Yes, if only it were that simple. Bobby Clover was sitting in a large, bright bowling alley, and suddenly, mysteriously, unaccountably, he just disappeared. There is absolutely no place to hide. And even if there were, there's no way he could get there without being seen. What's to be done? Right now, all we can do is support that arm of our local police department that's concerned with it.
Lieutenant Mulvaney, a man cannot simply vanish into thin air.
Oh, come on, Doctor. You have to do better than that. A man obviously did.
I'm not a police detective, but...
Yeah.
It would seem to me that somehow the man, this brother-in-law of yours, was able to make his way out of the building undetected.
Now, Doctor, I explained to you there was only one exit, and I was watching it.
A rear window?
All the windows were locked from the inside.
The cellar?
There is no cellar, no basement. The place rests on a concrete slab.
The room for utilities, the heat, the air conditioning?
All that is in a metal shed attached to the outside of the building.
Very well, Lieutenant. Then there must be some secret door or panel or passageway.
No. We played that game, too. I got guys in from loft and burglary. You couldn't hide a mouse in the floor, the walls, the ceiling. These guys would spot it. No, they checked out every square, I ought to say every cubic inch of the premises.
Suppose... I'm not trying to do your work for you, but suppose the manager, Fred, suppose he had wanted to murder your brother-in-law.
No, a homicide's already been there. First, he would need a motive, and they couldn't find one. Besides, why would Fred kill his best customer?
We are exploring possibilities.
Sure, we're also clutching at straws, Doctor, but go on with it. Now, say Fred killed him. How did Fred dispose of the body? Huh? Now, Bobby Clover is 6 feet tall, weighs 190. What do you do with him? There's no place to hide him, no way to make him disappear. I mean, you might think of ways to reduce Bobby's body to nothing, but they'd all require two things. A, Fred did not have time, and B, various kinds of equipment.
Then there can be only one explanation.
Yes, Doctor?
He walked through the door. You failed to see him.
All right, just for the sake of argument, we'll say that's possible. Where could he go? He was 10 miles from home. He didn't have a car.
That's what he told you, but he may have had one parked nearby.
Why? Why would he do
Perhaps
that?
he felt he had to disappear.
All right, once again, why?
You're a missing persons detective. Why do people disappear? A variety of reasons. A situation at home or on the job becomes intolerable.
No, I checked that out.
Yes?
I said to myself, Joe, it's a blow to your pride, but face it like a man. Somehow, he managed to sneak past you, all right?
And once you faced it?
I decided to forget that Bobby Clover was my sister's husband. Even that Henrietta was my sister. So, I went back to her house.
Joe, come in. Do you have something to tell me?
No, I'm here to find out if you have something to tell me.
What do you mean?
Henrietta, why would Bobby want to disappear?
I don't know.
How were things at home here?
I told you. There was very little doing at home. He was hardly ever here.
Now, look, Henrietta, I want to help you, but I'm not doing you any good unless I ask the right questions. It wasn't going well here, was it?
I told you.
He walked out on you, didn't he?
No.
He had to. He wasn't kidnapped. He wasn't murdered. A guy leaves his wife. Why?
He didn't leave me. He would never leave me.
Then why isn't he here now? He's got another woman, hasn't he?
Another woman? Why would he What would he do with another woman? He didn't even have time for me.
All right, come on now. Tell me the truth.
There was no other woman.
Is that your pride talking?
How could there be another woman? All day he's working. All night he's at the bowling alley. Maybe a wife has to hold still for that, but a girlfriend wouldn't tolerate it.
Henrietta, I want to help you.
And don't ask stupid questions.
A woman knows. She can sense when her husband's got someone on the string.
I'd stake my life on it. He had the bowling. That was his other woman.
Okay. If it isn't love, it has to be money.
Money?
Yeah, sometimes a man gets into debt.
Not Bobby.
Over his head. He can't see a way out.
Bobby had no money troubles. He has all the money he needs. He gives me all I want. I'll even show you the bank books. He didn't behave like a man who was pressed for money.
Oh, maybe we're not talking about the same kind of money, Henrietta. Now, Bobby has access to a lot of cash at the office.
What are you trying to say?
Maybe he was tempted.
Joe, you're talking about my husband.
What if he's in so deeply?
Never. What are you trying to do to me?
I'm trying to find Bobby.
Are Mr. Clover's accounts in order?
Yes, Mrs. Soames, that's what I asked you.
And why would you think that they might not be in order?
Well, you could answer that question with one word. Yes or no?
The answer, Lieutenant, is yes. They are in perfect order. And now, sir, I trust that since that question was the object of your visit, there is nothing else.
But have you answered the question, Mrs. Soames?
Please explain yourself.
A trusted employee of a brokerage firm appropriates a sum of money. The theft is discovered or about to be discovered, so that person leaves.
Are you implying...
No, I haven't finished. His employers are in a dilemma. If they report it to the police, if they prosecute, the thing becomes public. Unfortunately, that harms their image and hurts their reputation, and could cost them more in the long run than the money they're out of pocket. So they bite the bullet and eat the loss. Is that what happened here?
Mr. Clover's accounts were in perfect order.
Now, Mrs. Soames, I'm not saying Bobby Clover ran away from here because of money, but if he did, and if you're letting him get away with it, what you're doing is telling all your other employees that the cash box is open.
Mr. Clover's accounts were in perfect order, and we have no idea why he should have disappeared. And now, sir, if you will be kind enough to excuse me. Do you believe her?
Yes, I believe her.
Very well, then we may assume there was no irregularity at the office. Did you believe his wife when she claimed there was no other woman?
Yes.
Then at this point, you're a city detective on a routine investigation. You're having problems, and that's to be expected. Why do you think you need a psychiatrist?
Do you remember I told you I know where Bobby is?
Yes. And I'm waiting for you to get to it.
It's crazy.
Where is he?
I started at the beginning. I asked myself, what really happened? I got to the bowling alley just as they were closing. That's what I told you, right?
Yes.
And there were 3 of us in the place. Me, Bobby, and the manager, Fred.
I remember.
And Bobby says, go out and start the car. All I have to do is change my shoes and pay the bill, okay?
Very well.
So I go out and sit in the car and wait. And finally, the manager, Fred, he comes out and starts to lock the place up. Now, so far, this is it. You agree?
So far.
So, we go back in. No Bobby anywhere inside. And no way for him to get out without my seeing him. And most important, no reason for him to even want to sneak out. Do you follow this?
I think so.
All right. There can only be one answer.
And what's that?
He's still in there.
But we've established beyond the shadow of a doubt that there's no place where he could be inside that bowling alley.
You know, it's funny. You should have used that word.
What word?
Shadow. And why did you say that? Why did you just say the word shadow?
Why do you make an issue of it?
Because I've been given to understand that no word is ever used idly. Subconsciously, every word we say, even the most offhanded remark, is deliberate.
And what does this have to do with the fact that I happen to use the word shadow?
Because I know now that maybe shadow is what this whole thing is about.
Shadow?
Did you also figure it out?
Figure out what, Lieutenant?
Maybe you're not aware of it.
Suppose you tell me what I'm supposed to have figured out.
Well, since the answer has to be in that bowling alley, I went back there about 2 a.m. And Fred, the manager, is about to close up. So I say to him, Fred?
Yeah?
Is it okay if I look around?
I'm closing up. Can you come back tomorrow?
No, I want to be here when the place is empty.
I promised the wife I'd come right home. Look, I can give you a spare key. All you gotta do is turn the lock as you leave, huh?
I walk inside. I sit down on one of the benches behind the alleys. The empty lanes look just like a part of some huge underground cavern with tiny lights twinkling in the ceiling. And then I hear it. Someone is bowling. But where? Who? And then I see him. He's standing right in front of me. He's about to bowl again. Bobby! Hey, Bobby!
Don't do that, Joe. Don't ever do that again.
Yeah, but Bobby...
You can't do that to a man when he's about to bowl. You can't yell and break his concentration.
Listen, Bobby...
No, you listen, Joe. Look at what you made me do. I hit the head pin too fast, and now I got a split. I got a 7-pin split.
Okay, Bobby, I'm sorry.
Well, you should be.
Bobby, are you real?
What do you mean, am I real?
That night, what happened?
Wait a minute. I got something more important to do. Oh, too much outside spin, so she goes into the gutter. I gotta work on that, Joe. Hey, Terry, we're down by 2. It can cost us a match.
Bobby, who are you talking to?
Oh, a guy by the name of Terry. He's my partner tonight. We're bowling against 2 guys who are really great.
Bobby, listen to me.
The truth is, I'm even better than either of those 2 guys. But Terry's a little weak, you know? I'd give anything for a new partner. Wait a minute. Hey, Joe? Is that why you're here?
What are you saying?
Is it what you wanted? More than anything in the world?
No. I'm just here because I'm looking for you.
That means you can leave, huh?
I guess so.
Are you sure? Could you just get up from that bench and walk to the door? Could you? Try it.
Sure. Look, I can do it.
Oh.
Do you mean you can't?
No. I can't.
Why not, Bobby?
Because maybe I really don't want to.
We seem to have a rather strange bowling alley here. Or maybe it's only strange because it's closed for the night. Maybe all bowling alleys are strange when they're closed for the night. Which should open up a whole new line of conjecture. What happens on golf courses in ballparks, concert halls, and theaters when they're closed for the night and theoretically empty. Well, we can't close until we bring you Act 3, and we shall shortly. Where lies the land to which our ship must go? Far ahead, that's all we ever know. Whither are we drifting? Where are we bound? There is a place of heart's desire. Call it paradise, call it heaven, and perhaps some of us will make it there. Evidently, a gentleman named Bobby Clover has already arrived.
Bobby, what happened?
Wait, I have to roll. That should put us back in the lead. You know, that partner of mine's a lot of dead wood to carry around.
Bobby, wait a minute now. You say you have a partner?
Yeah, he's bowling in number 7, right next to us.
Well, I don't see him. I don't hear him.
You don't?
Well, I see you. I hear you. I hear your ball when it rolls down the alley, but that's all.
That's all? This place is so crowded, so noisy, I can hardly hear myself think.
Now, Bobby, what's going on?
What's going on? With what?
With everything. Now, I remember the last time I saw you, just before the guy closed up for the night. You know, Fred? Fred, the manager.
I don't know any Fred. I guess I lost him.
You lost him?
Oh, you start losing people from the other place.
What other place, Bobby?
The other place, where you used to be. They start dropping out of your mind. I guess the more unimportant people fall away first.
Now, you remember me, though.
Oh, you? Joe? Oh, sure.
Yeah, and, Henrietta?
Henrietta. Yeah, I'll remember her longest of all.
That sounds as if you're going to forget her. After a while.
After a while, you have to forget everybody.
Hey, Bobby, wait a minute. Am I dreaming? What's happening?
I don't know if you'll be able to understand it, but you remember that night you came here and wanted to talk to me?
Yeah.
I was bowling, right?
Right.
And we talked about it. I said to you, this is what I live for.
Yeah, I remember.
And I said, what I really want, I could never have. And you asked, why not? And I answered, I said, I just want to spend the rest of my life bowling. Just bowling.
Yeah, so?
So I meant it. Did you ever get to say anything that just expressed everything that mattered to you? It's like you reduced your whole life to one complete statement. Did you?
No.
I did. And no sooner had I done it when I felt something happen inside me.
Like what?
It was like a sudden warm current that runs through your blood. Maybe I kind of blacked out for a minute, but then suddenly I was bowling again. Here. Right here. And I've been bowling ever since.
Bobby, I'm going to ask you what might sound like a crazy question. Are you dead?
Well, to tell you the truth, Joe, I don't know. All I know is I'm doing what I always wanted to do. Bowl.
You don't want to go home to Henrietta?
Henrietta?
Your wife.
Well, I know she's my wife, but I can't make her happy.
Bobby, she loves you. She misses you.
After a while, she'll forget me, and it'll be for the best.
But you had a great job. You could go places.
A job? Did I have a job?
Now, you know you had a job.
Yeah, I guess I did. I'm forgetting. Help me remember.
Do you remember you worked for Morley and Soames?
Oh, yeah. Right. Millicent Soames. Yeah, she took it over when her husband died. Frosty dame, too. Well, when I first came there, something bothered me. You see, we have some old dead files nobody ever looks through, and by mistake, I guess I put an envelope with $40,000 worth of bearer bonds in those dead files.
$40,000?
I was afraid that old lady Soames would think I stole them. I wanted to come back and tell her, but it was too late.
Why? Why do you say it's too late?
everything fades away except what you really want to do.
How does it happen? I'm able to see you, Bobby, and hear you. How was I able to find you?
Because, well, I guess you wanted to find me more than anything else in the whole world. After all, you love your sister and you want her to be happy, but the only way you can make her happy is to tell her to forget me.
Now, listen, Bobby.
And you forget me, too. Goodbye, Joe.
Now, Bobby. Bobby? Bobby, where are you? Where did you go?
And then?
He was gone, Doctor.
I see.
What do you see?
You told me a story that consists of several separate, distinct elements. First, you went to see your brother-in-law at your sister's urging.
Yeah, that's true.
Second, you met him late at night at a bowling alley. Talked to him. Fred, the manager's told us you were there.
You mean you've been checking my story?
Now, bear with me, please. From here on, every element rests on your own say-so. You say you'd arranged to wait outside in your car for your brother-in-law.
Yes, that's true.
You say you waited, and he never came out of the bowling alley.
He never did.
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
Let me tell you what could have happened. He was going to pay Fred, but Fred had to go into the office. Instead of waiting for Fred to return, Bobby decided to leave. He walked out and got into your car.
Now, wait a minute. You haven't been listening. He never came out of that place.
That is what you say. Suppose he did. Suppose he did get into your car, and suppose you killed him.
Okay. Why? Why would I want to kill him?
Because you love your sister more than anyone or anything else in the world.
And that's why I would kill the man she's crazy about?
Yes, because he was not going to be good enough for her. He didn't love her, or at least not as much as she loved him. After a while, he would have broken her heart, destroyed her. Well?
Therefore, I killed Bobby.
And when Fred, the manager, began to lock up, you pretended that Bobby hadn't come out yet. Thus, you set in motion the entire charade that has been going on for almost a month.
And this is what you infer from what I've been telling you?
Yes.
Well, it isn't so. I've stated the truth.
I'm sure that by now you believe it is the truth.
Have you reported any of this to my superior officers?
No.
Do you intend to?
I have a clear-cut duty.
You intend to accuse me of murder?
I think you have told me a story which points very strongly in that direction.
Well, suppose you're wrong. What happens to my reputation? Now, Doctor, I've been watching you while I was talking about how Bobby Clover was bowling. And you have the same look in your eyes he has in his. I think you're just as hooked as he is.
What does this have to do with...
You think I'm crazy.
That is an extremely dangerous and misleading word. I think you're not quite sane.
Oh, yeah? Why?
Consider. Your basic premise. Bobby Clover expresses a desire to spend the rest of his life bowling. Therefore, suddenly, somehow, he's transplanted or transmuted into another world where he may indulge this passion forever.
And that is why I'm nuts, huh?
That's another unfortunate word.
Yeah, but it tells a story. You know, I learned something from Bobby you didn't.
And what was that?
I knew how badly I wanted to find him, and I realized how badly he wanted to just bowl for the rest of his life. So I learned that if you want something badly enough, you get it.
Oh, if that were true, there would be no frustration in the world.
Well, wanting it badly means wanting it completely. It's the kind of want that exists in very few people. It's just too strong, too overpowering. Is that how you feel about bowling, Doctor? I said before I could see it in your eyes.
It's my weakness. Yes. I love to bowl. I can lose myself.
Are you game for a test?
What sort of test?
Let's go down to the bowling alley tonight.
Oh? Why?
I'll tell you when we get there.
Hey there, Lieutenant.
Hello, Fred. I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Underhill, Dr. Fred, the manager.
How do you do?
Hey, Doc. How are you?
The doctor would like to bowl a few frames.
Go right ahead. Hey, those are some shoes. And that ball. Doc, are you one of the pros on the tour?
I wish I were.
Oh, you're on number 7. Best lane in the house.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was beautiful, Doctor.
Thank you.
You know something? You're beautiful, too.
Probably.
Well, that's a funny way to accept a compliment.
But it's true.
You know, I never noticed it before. You are beautiful.
Yes, when I bowl.
You know, I looked at you before this as a kind of quiet, pale...
nondescript middle-aged lady.
No. I wouldn't say middle-aged exactly, but now, here, your eyes are sparkling, your cheeks are bright, you kind of vibrate with excitement.
Now I'm living. When I'm doing this, I don't know what this game does to me, but it's the only time I'm completely alive.
Don't say any more.
I go through the motions of a job and a career.
Now, stop.
I do what I do to get paid. I even do it well.
Now, stop right now. Stop, unless you want to do it forever.
But this is all I want.
No, it isn't. It isn't, believe me.
I live to do this, to aim the ball, approach the line, swing and release, and down the lane. Yes, just this.
No.
If I could only spend the rest of my life doing this.
Oh, Doctor.
Hey, Lieutenant. How's it going? Hey. Where's the doctor?
The doctor?
Yeah. What happened to the doctor?
I guess she left.
Well, didn't she come in here with you?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean she was going to leave here with me.
Oh, I get it. Well, you know how dames are. You win some, you lose some.
Yeah, that's right. Right, Fred.
Yeah. Good night, Lieutenant.
Missing persons, Lieutenant Mulvaney. Oh, yes, Inspector. Who? The police department psychiatrist. Yeah, I'm taking it down. Martha Underhill, age 46. There's missing. Yeah, I'm getting it. You say her hobby was bowling. Well, we'll certainly check all the alleys. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir, you can depend on me to make a most thorough and intensive search.
And because he's a most conscientious detective, we know he did. But where she had gone, there was no following her. Only a comparatively few dedicated people could arrive at the place, and then they couldn't get back. Well, we hope she teamed up with Bobby Clover, who certainly needed a new partner. I'll be back shortly. Is it possible that a person whose entire being can focus and concentrate on a desired result can actually harness a unique cosmic force and simply make it happen? Whether or not you approve of or even believe in it, the fact remains that millions of people devoutly do. On the other hand, Lieutenant Mulvaney might have murdered his brother-in-law and then discovered that he would also have to kill the doctor to cover his tracks. Which version is true? It's not for us to say. Our job is to provide you with choices, options,
and food for thought. Our cast included Larry Haynes, Marion Seldes, Catherine Byers, and Bob Caliban. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. We call a concept fantasy when it fails to fall within the pattern experience has led us to expect. Fantasy, then, is unnatural, supernatural, if you like, because the road it takes is heretofore untraveled. Considered in that light, this adventure of Ralph and Wilma Albertson's is fantasy. Ralph and Wilma have had their fill of the city's turmoil. Some years ahead of the customary retirement age, Ralph is leaving his post at the university as professor of American history to write a book on the development of the New England states. He and his wife are about to depart on a meandering tour of New England in search of a home in which he may work congenially.
Ralph, will you come and sit on this suitcase so I can get it closed?
Well, if you didn't feel you had to take a lifetime supply of everything...
A little harder.
Phew.
Well, if you'd make up your mind where you want to go, I'd know what to pack. Don't you have any idea where you want to end up?
Well, we'll travel the back roads, move and when and where whimsy directs.
That's all very well, but where are we going to get to?
Some backwater town where they still think the world is flat if I have my way.
What you're looking for is a ghost town.
Well, if the ghosts are quiet and mind their own business, why not?
Our mystery drama, Sleepy Village, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Fielden Farrington and stars Norman Rose and Martha Greenhouse. There are few places in the world better designed to encourage wanderlust than the northeastern section of the United States, especially in early autumn. Ralph and Wilma, half forgetting the real object of their quest, find themselves at mid-morning in the mountainous wonderland of Vermont.
I can taste the color, Ralph.
Can you imagine this country before the white man got his gadget-building hands on it?
Well, there haven't been any gadget-building hands messing around with this section much. If they hadn't put a little blacktop on this road, I'd still call it a wagon track.
Cow path before that, more than likely.
Do you expect to find a town on this road?
I don't know, but if I do...
Hey, we just passed the sign. Stop the car. If there's a town around here, we don't want to miss it.
Well, I'll back up.
Now, what's it say? It's half hidden behind that bush.
Sleepy Village. Population 364. I'd call that small enough, at least.
Well, if there's anything at all in a name, you've found what you're looking for.
Can't call it a ghost town. It's got people in it. I saw at least 3 men hanging around outside the barber shop.
Oh, yes, and they saw us, too. I think it's just about the most beautiful little town I've ever seen.
Well, now, I'll remind you that you said that. Wow, that must be the town hall.
You know, I don't see a real estate office.
Are you serious?
It's a perfect little gem of a town, Ralph. Let's park and ask somebody. The town's only about 4 blocks long. I'll wait here. You go ask one of those men in front of the barber shop.
Okay.
Oh, you know, you look like an awful city slicker.
I am a city slicker. Excuse me. I wonder if you might tell me where to find a real estate dealer?
Fella sells houses and all?
That's right.
Man you'd want to see, I expect, would be Ellis Perkins. He's the mayor.
Oh, where would I find him?
This, right over yonder in the village hall. It might be there. Might not.
Well, I'll have a look. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We have to see the mayor.
The mayor?
He must sell real estate on the side. Mr. Perkins?
Yes, come right in.
Oh, thank you. There wasn't any receptionist outside, so...
Oh, never felt the need for one, really. People just walk in and out. My name's Ellis Perkins.
Oh, I'm Ralph Albertson, Mr. Perkins, and this is Mrs. Albertson.
How do you do? I am pleased to meet you. Sit down, please sit down. You wouldn't believe how rare a stranger is.
Yeah, well, I'll get right to the point, Mr. Perkins. We've been looking for a place like this, a quiet little place, to settle down in, permanently.
Have you now? Well, there is a house available, just one. You quite sure that you want to be this far removed from worldly things?
Well, that's exactly what we do want.
Yes.
Peace and quiet. I find the city lately it's just too much for me.
I see. Do you feel the same way about it, Mrs. Albertson?
Oh, why, yes. Not as strongly as my husband, perhaps, but now I've seen your town.
Yeah, good. Well, it's just about lunchtime.
Oh, well, if you have an engagement...
No. Nothing of the sort. You can come to my house and have lunch with me, of course.
Oh, no, really? We couldn't impose on you.
No. We'll get a bite somewhere and meet you later.
No, I won't hear of it. You're coming home with me. We'll enjoy a good country lunch. As we call it, dinner,
Oh.
And then we'll proceed to a discussion of whether or not our sleepy village is the place you're looking for.
Oh, dear. I may not eat again for days.
Do you always eat like this at lunchtime? Ham steak, home fried potatoes, green beans.
Well, it's really the main meal. Supper isn't quite as elaborate, except on occasion.
Well, it certainly was delicious. I'd be fat as a pig if I had a lunch like this every day.
Everybody ready for the apple pie?
Oh, my goodness.
Too much?
Oh, yes.
No, Lucas. I guess you better save the pie for supper. Want me to bring the coffee in here, Mr. Perkins, or in the sitting room? In the sitting room, I think, Lucas. Where should we go in? More comfortable talking in there than around the table.
Now, if Lucas does everything else as well as he cooks, he's really a gem, Mr. Perkins. Does he live in?
Oh, yes, has for 10 years or more now. Take that chair, won't you, Mrs. Albertson?
Thank you.
Yes, used to be my dear wife's favorite. Want me to pour, Mr. Perkins, or just leave the tray? I put it on the coffee table here. I'll pour. You go have your dinner now, Lucas. Want anything, just holler. Yes. Lucas is the only family I have since my wife passed over. He gets restless sometimes, talks about leaving me, but I don't think he ever will. I don't know what I'd do if he did. Cream and sugar, both of you? Real cream?
No, thanks. We both take it black.
What a pity. Well, now, let's get down to the business of finding out whether or not you and Sleepy Village would suit each other.
Well, the town suits me fine. We'll have to look at the house, of course.
Oh, yes, of course. What is your profession, Mr. Albertson?
I was a college professor, American history.
Oh.
But I decided to leave that and, work on a book I've had in mind.
Good, very good. The village could use a good historian. Interesting history this place has. You'd be fascinated.
Yes, I can imagine.
Lucas makes good coffee, too.
Well, now, I don't mean to pry, but are you people who have a great many friends? That is, to whom old friends are terribly important?
Oh, well, we have an average number of friends, I suppose, although I can't see what...
Well, living in an isolated place like this might be...
Well, if we miss them, we'll ask them to come and see us.
Yes. But you are looking for a place where you can get away from people, and I assume that includes friends as well as strangers.
Mr. Perkins, I don't understand what difference all this makes to you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hope I haven't offended you. It's a very small village, Mr. Albertson, and, well, the relationships are very close. Intimate, you might say. We find we have to make sure we're getting the sort of people who will blend.
Oh, I see. A sort of gentleman's agreement. Is that what you mean?
Oh, no. Nothing like that at all, no. Nothing whatever. It's just, well, now, how can I make you understand? It's just that comings and goings upset our people terribly. We can't have people moving in and then just packing up and moving out again. It's, well, that's quite impossible.
I think perhaps the best plan would be not to move in the first place.
Oh, dear. I've done this very badly. I've given you the wrong impression altogether.
Ralph, don't you think... Well, it's such a sweet little place, and maybe the reason we like it so much is that Mr. Perkins does make sure he has the right people before going on with it. Not just anybody would fit in here. You have to admit that.
Would it help, Mr. Albertson, if I said I'd be very happy indeed to have you and Mrs. Albertson come and live in our community?
There. You see, Ralph?
Well, all right, at least we'll look at the house.
Splendid. Well, I'll go and make the arrangements right now. Before you have a chance to change your minds. I'd just like to make a phone call, if you'll excuse me. Please help yourself to more coffee.
Wilma, didn't you think that was a bit much?
Well, except he's right. A little village like this is quite a different proposition from a big city. It wouldn't be a good thing for either the villages or us if we moved in and then all hated each other.
I suppose not, but it's very strange all the same.
Oh, Lucas, I was just telling Mr. Perkins the coffee's up to your standard. Very good.
May I speak to you in confidence?
What? Oh, well, yes, of course.
Have you decided to stay?
Well, nothing's been settled yet. Mr. Perkins is making arrangements now for us to see the house.
Oh, but that don't mean, does it, that you're dead set on staying?
Oh, no, of course not. The house may not be suitable at all.
Although I'll be surprised if it isn't.
Well, if it does work out so that you can't stay, I'd like to ask you...
Wait just a minute. Can't stay?
Well, I mean to say, if it works out so as you don't, I'd be most beholden to you if you'd let me come with you when you go.
Oh, well, of course, if you want to ride, we'd be perfectly willing to take you along.
But Mr. Perkins was just saying...
Oh, he don't want me to go. I know that. But it's not fair, is it, to keep a man against his wishing? I'll talk to you again after you've... I'll talk to you later on.
All right.
Don't tell Mr. Perkins we spoke.
Well, that was pretty spooky, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think Lucas has been watching too many late movies.
You know, this whole setup seems... I don't know. We'll see the house, at least.
Oh, we're going to like it, Ralph. It's going to be just what we're looking for.
Well, splendid. Couldn't have worked out better. Oh, I know you're going to love it here.
Mr. Perkins, when can we see the house?
In due time.
What do you mean, in due time?
Well, what I arranged for just now on the phone was for you to meet the village fathers. It was a lucky thing. They're having a meeting anyway this afternoon on another matter, and...
Why should we meet the village fathers?
Oh, didn't I mention it? Well, you'll have to appear before the village fathers before you can consider settling in Sleepy Village. You'll have to be approved.
If a man wants to buy a house in a town that he finds attractive, if he has the money to pay for it, even if one house comprises the entire market, doesn't it seem odd to ask him to appear before the town's governing body and establish his worthiness? But Sleepy Village is a place of many, many odd characteristics. We'll encounter more of them when I return shortly with Act 2. Wishing to escape the overcrowding, the noise, the pollution, the tension of the big city is quite common these days. But perhaps there is such a thing as going too far in the other direction. Ralph Albertson is beginning to think that's just what he and his wife have done. They found a place aptly named Sleepy Village, but the mayor, Ellis Perkins, has told them that they must appear before the village fathers and be found acceptable before they may consider settling down.
Of all the nonsense I have ever been subjected to, this has got to be the most ridiculous.
Unusual, perhaps, Mr. Albertson, but not ridiculous. There are elements involved here that I'm not free to explain to you at this time.
Wilma, let's get out of here.
Oh, Ralph, not before we see...
Before we what? Appear in supplication before a bunch of small town... No, I won't do it, Wilma.
You'll be treated with the utmost dignity, Mr. Albertson. Please believe me.
What have you got going on here, Mr. Perkins, that you're so careful about? I mean, you don't screen people like this unless there's something going on that you can't afford to let become generally known.
Well, you're quite wrong about that, Mr. Albertson. We're very proud.
I don't see why you have to be so suspicious, Ralph. They just want to make sure we're compatible.
Exactly. She said it exactly, Mr. Albertson.
And we have nothing to lose.
Wilma, are you really so taken with this place?
I guess I really am.
All right. All right, for that reason and no other, I'll talk to your village fathers. But don't either of you expect me to get down on my knees.
Meeting starts promptly at 3:30.
Oh, Ralph, surely you don't think...
I think we're damn fools for having any part of this, if you really want to know what I think.
Mr. Perkins.
Yes, Lucas?
Feller on the telephone wants to talk to you.
I didn't hear the phone ring. Who is it?
Wouldn't tell me his name, just said it was almighty important. I told him I'd tell you that.
Oh, dear. I mustn't be late for the meeting. Well, I won't be a minute.
Wasn't no call on the telephone, you know. I just told him there was.
Lucas, why did you do that?
Want to have a word with you. You ain't really figuring to stay in Sleepy Village, are you?
Well, we're going to see the village fathers. We don't know yet whether we're going to stay or not.
Why, I wouldn't. Indeed, I wouldn't, Mr. Albertson, if I was you.
Why not, Lucas?
Lots of reasons. Well, if it turns out you don't have to stay, you promised to take me away with you, remember?
What do you mean, if we don't have to stay?
Well, the way it works out sometimes. Oh, here he comes. I better get...
Lucas, there wasn't anybody on that phone.
There wasn't?
No, there wasn't.
Was when I talked to him, that's all I know.
Well, no time to worry about that now. Are you ready to go?
As ready as I'll get, I guess.
Mr. Albertson is an historian of considerable repute. Now, as you all know, the village records have been gathering dust in the archives for too long. Sleepy Village has a proud past. I have no doubt whatever that Mr. Albertson could be prevailed upon to go through those records and put them in order and set them down in readable form for all to enjoy. I feel no hesitation whatever in recommending them wholeheartedly as future citizens of Sleepy Village.
I never heard of such a thing. I just never in my whole life heard of such a crazy thing.
Well, it did seem... Well, I thought it was sort of funny.
Funny?
Ralph, why don't you just sit down and relax, okay?
Oh, I'm sorry, Wilma. No reason why I should take it out on you.
Well, it is sort of out of proportion. I admit that. But then there can't be many places like this left in the whole world, do you think? The way things are today, And to keep it this way, I guess they'd have to protect themselves. Otherwise, it would be just like any other small town.
Well, I don't like to be interrogated.
Congratulations! Oh, I am so pleased. They've accepted you, unanimously, not one single objection. Well, I can't remember the last time that happened.
Okay, so can we go and see the house now and get that over with?
What? Oh, the house. Well, now, don't worry about that. I think this calls for a celebration first, don't you?
No, I honestly don't, if you want my opinion. Now, what we better do is take a look at the house and then do something about finding a place to spend the night.
Now. I'm not going to listen to any arguments about it. You're just going to have to leave everything to me.
Well, you have to say one thing for this town. It's not short on hospitality.
Mr. Albertson, I know that today has been an upsetting experience for you, appearing before the village fathers and all, but that's all in the past now, don't you see? You're one of us now, or same as. You and Mrs. Albertson belong here. It's been decided.
Oh, decided. Now, look, you and your village fathers have spent the day checking us out. Has it occurred to you at all to wonder how you look to us? I'm as fussy about who lives next door to me as my next-door neighbor is.
Ralph, please, don't you think...
And I don't like people prying into my business. I don't like people sitting in judgment, deciding whether or not I'm good enough to mingle with.
You use the word neighbor, Mr. Albertson. That's not quite the right word. We're closer than neighbors here. We're more in the nature of a family. Let's say you were considering adopting the child. Now, you'd want to know something about him, wouldn't you? His background, what it'd be like living in the same house with him.
Mr. Perkins, I did not come here to be adopted. I came here thinking that maybe, just maybe, I might want to buy a house and settle down here. But at this moment, it doesn't seem like a very good idea.
Oh, dear. Mrs. Albertson, you don't feel the same way your husband does, do you?
Not as strongly, I guess, but I can see his point.
Well, it'll work itself out. Would you two care for another sip of brandy before bedtime?
No, thank you. If we're going to find a motel with a vacancy, I think we better start looking right now.
Oh, no. That won't be necessary. Nearest motel that I know of, it's just the other side of Morebury anyway, and that's close on to a 50-mile drive.
All the more reason for starting now.
And my guest room upstairs is a good deal more comfortable than any motel room you're apt to find around these parts.
Mr. Perkins, I really do appreciate your hospitality. I don't want you to think that I don't, but... Look, I'm sorry, but this is nonsense. This just isn't the way things are done.
You'll find that things are not done in Sleepy Village the way they're done outside. Really, Mr. Albertson, we're exactly what you came looking for. And now you're resisting it. Why? If you can believe that such a place might exist, believe it strongly enough to set out on a journey looking for it, why do you find it so difficult to believe that it does exist once you found your way to it?
You know, he's right, Ralph.
There's just something creepy about it. All right, we'll spend the night here. Mr. Perkins, I'm sorry if I've seemed rude, but no, it's very kind of you, I'm sure. Yes, thank you. We'll stay.
Lucas? Oh, Lucas?
Yes, Mr. Perkins. I was just about to go on upstairs to bed.
Come in here for a minute, please, will you? Want to talk to you. Oh, sit down, will you? You don't have to act like a servant.
Well, as long as I am one, reckon I might as well act like one.
Lucas, you're not planning to do anything foolish, are you?
I don't know what you mean, Mr. Perkins.
You remember the Collinses? The night they spent here before they moved into the old Bradley place?
Oh,
And I wouldn't want a repetition of that. The Albertsons have seen the village fathers and been accepted. It's all settled. You'd be very unwise to interfere.
Well, no, I wouldn't do that, Mr. Perkins. That there with the Collinses, that was a long time ago. Before I'd got rightly settled in, you might say. You don't have to worry.
Good. Because it wouldn't work anyway. I give you my word. It wouldn't work at all.
Wilma, I suppose you think I've overreacted, but this is the damnedest thing I ever heard of.
Yes, but it's kind of sweet. Don't you think, Ralph?
I might think so, yes, if it weren't for the village fathers and their interrogation. I didn't like that, Wilma.
No, but once we're part of the village...
I still won't like it. I'm not at all sure yet that we're going to be part of the village.
I have a feeling, though.
No, there's more to this than old Perkins has told us. I don't know, there's some kind of a catch. I get a wrong feeling.
What was that?
How settling. Or somebody knocking at the door.
Somebody knocking?
I'll see who it is. Oh, yes, Lucas.
I have to talk to you.
Well, we're all ready for bed. Can't I wait until morning?
Oh, I got to get it settled tonight, Mr. Albertson. If I can, I got to. Can I come in and shut the door?
It's okay, Ralph.
Okay. All right. What is it, Lucas?
You folks don't really want to stay in this place, do you?
Well, we haven't decided yet.
We haven't seen the house. We like the town, all right. But, of course, we can't decide anything definite until we've seen the house.
House ain't got nothing to do with it, Mrs. Albertson. Nothing whatsoever.
Of course it has. We'd be living there.
Lucas, do you have something to tell us? Is there something about this place that we ought to know before we make up our minds?
There sure as shooting is. But I don't know if you're going to believe me when I tell you. The Collinses didn't.
Collinses?
Last folks come looking for a house to live in here before you. Been, 8-10 years now.
8 or 10 years since anybody's been here asking about a house?
Out of the way place, this. More than you know. You don't just stumble onto Sleepy Village. You got to be, I don't know, led, I guess. I told the Collinses that, but they wouldn't believe me.
No, wait a minute, Lucas. Led by whom?
Well, I couldn't say. I asked the Collinses to take me away with them, too, but they didn't go. They stayed. Still here. Always will be now, of course.
I can't understand why you keep asking people to take you away with them, Lucas. I mean, if you want to leave Sleepy Village, why don't you just leave?
Oh, no. Wait, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't if I tried it all by myself. I think you ought to make up your mind to get out of here, Mr. Albertson, not just so as you can take me with you, but for your own good. Maybe they'll still let you go.
Let us go?
Well, damn well let us go if we want to go.
I sure hope so. We could still leave tonight. Better chance to get away after dark than in the daytime.
Now, look, you're going to have to explain that, Lucas. If you want us to take you away with us in case we go, well, you're going to have to tell us what is going on here.
Well, they're all dead, you know. Not me. I don't think. But all the rest of them's dead as dead can be. Been dead for years.
A village full of dead people? People who walk the streets, speak with a down east accent, overeat at dinner time, quarrel, behave, in other words, as we expect living people to behave? Well, to clear that one up, it would be necessary to define death, which would involve defining life. Would you care to try? Perhaps the definitions will be forthcoming when I return shortly with Act 3. One of man's major preoccupations ever since he became man, has been with life after death, and the form it will take. That it will take some form, he must believe, for the mortal span is too brief to be acceptable as the entire package. He delves and seeks and pries, and sometimes, at strange moments snatched from the commonplace, he seems to get a glimpse.
Oh, but you can't possibly go. It's never happened before.
Then this will be the first time, Mr. Perkins, because we are going.
Well, now, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go and have a look at your house, and then come back here and discuss it over a good, hearty breakfast. How does that strike you?
Well, frankly, it leaves me cold. We'll get our breakfast along the road somewhere.
Oh, dear. Mrs. Albertson?
I have to agree with my husband. It seems a shame, but I don't see how we could possibly be happy here. Not that I believe what Lucas says for a minute, but...
What does Lucas say?
Oh, that's not important. We're grateful for your hospitality, Mr. Perkins, and we both agree that you have a beautiful little village here, but, well, it's just not for us. Now, we're all packed. We'll be out of here in a few minutes.
Oh, it's going to be hard to find another place we like as much.
You'll never find one as spooky, if that's what you mean.
Ralph?
Yes?
Do you believe what Lucas says?
Well, that everybody in town is dead?
What's that up ahead?
I can't tell. It looks like a tree across the road, or a telephone pole, maybe.
There's a man there. See? Off to the right.
Oh, good. The two of us ought to be able to clear that thing off the road without too much trouble.
Ralph, he's got a gun.
What the hell?
Can't get through this way, mister.
Sure we can. The two of us can move that log.
Ain't nobody moving the log or driving through. Better just turn back. Only thing you can do.
Let's turn around, Ralph. The way he's holding that gun...
Hey, what is this, a roadblock? Are you trying to force us to turn back?
Got this shotgun here, Mr. Albertson. Sure hope I don't have to use it.
I was waiting for you to come back. When I do sit down, I know you're angry.
Angry? You don't know the half of it.
Oh, dear. Well, I intend to explain everything. You mentioned earlier that Lucas told you something, Mrs. Albertson. Do you mind telling me what it was? What did he say?
He said you're all dead. He said everybody in the village is dead, except him.
Yes. Well, he is too, of course.
What are you talking about?
Oh, it's quite true. We're all changed over. We're all dead, if you want to use that word, although, as you can see, it isn't accurate. We've finished with the life you're experiencing now and gone on to the next.
Oh, cut it out, Perkins.
Ralph, you wanted him to explain?
Thank you, Mrs. Albertson. It isn't an easy thing to give credence to in the beginning, I know. Continued existence after what you think of as death is as natural as your having been born in the first place. People are not simply extinguished when they finish the first phase.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Perkins, but I just don't buy it.
Why would you want us to settle in your village? We're not dead. Two living persons in a village full of dead people. Why?
A sleepy village is not the place you drive to. It's a place you think yourself into when you're sufficiently repelled by the society, the circumstances, which is to say the life in which you find yourself trapped. Then you find your way to Sleepy Village. And once you've done that, you become candidates for residence.
Then what you mean is
candidates for death. Is that what you're trying to tell us?
Well, now, it isn't death as you think of it, Mr. Albertson. You'll have to change over, yes, but you'll hardly notice it.
Dead is dead as I see it, no matter what comes after.
The very fact that you found us, found your way to our village, implies a natural readiness for the change. Well, don't you understand that it's more than half done already? You're here. That says all that needs to be said.
Mr. Perkins, I think I'd like to be alone with my wife for a while, if you don't mind. Will you come with me, Wilma? A remarkable thing is about to happen to us, and we need to make ourselves ready.
Yes, that's very good.
Well, I'm not ready. I won't be ready. I don't understand you at all, Ralph. Why do you suddenly...
No, please, Wilma. We want to make the change gracefully, don't we? We need to prepare ourselves. Wilma, do you think for a minute that I'm going to...
you said...
No way. I just realized that they have to be humored, that's all. Now, look, we've somehow found our way into a village full of nuts. That's what's happened. Now, look, we've got to play it their way if we hope to get out of here in one piece. Because that idiot downstairs means what he says.
Lucas. Where's Lucas? He must know how to get away.
I don't know. I think he expected to ride out of town with us in the car.
All the same, I think we ought to see if we can find him.
Well, let's give him a little time. I have a feeling he'll come to us. There, that'll be Lucas. Lucas, come in. Where is Perkins?
Went out a while back. I waited a few minutes before I come up just to make sure he wasn't still snooping around. I expect he's making the arrangements about you folks right this minute.
Arrangements?
Well, they won't want to waste any more time than they have to. Well, you folks been cutting up.
Lucas, can you get us out of here?
I think I can sneak us out all right. Ain't gonna be easy, though.
Lucas, if you knew the roads would be blocked, then you weren't expecting just to ride out of town with us in the car, were you?
Might have yesterday. Hid in the trunk or somewheres.
Well, if it's just a matter of walking out, not going by car, why haven't you done it long ago? Why wait for somebody to take you?
Well, it's a funny thing. I've gone as far as the village line 100 times or more. But I just don't seem to be able to push my way across it somehow, standing there all by myself. I can't say why.
Well, what makes you think it would be any easier if we were with you?
I always figured if I had somebody there with me, holding my hand, as you might say, I could make her. Never do it without, I know that.
All right. Can we leave now?
Have to leave your car behind and your suitcases and them things.
Well, we'll come back for them. I intend to come back here with the police and clean this place out.
Yep. Well, I wouldn't count on it if I were you. Now, just walk along natural, talking and going on like I was showing you around. Here's how we'll do it. We'll go over and cross the line right in back of the church. Village ends right there in back of the church.
Yeah, won't they be patrolling there?
I wouldn't think so, no. The village folk don't go in back of the church. Never.
Why not?
Something back there scares them off, seems like.
Lucas, you say everybody in the village is dead. Everybody but you.
Yep.
How does it happen you're not?
Wondered about that a good deal myself. Come to the conclusion it just slipped their minds. I wasn't important enough for folks to take much notice of when I showed up.
How did you happen to come here in the first place?
I can't hardly recall anymore. I was hitching at the time.
Hitchhiking?
Yep. Mr. Perkins put me right to work as soon as the village father said it was all right. His wife had just made the second change, and he needed somebody.
The second change?
Oh, well, they die. Well, they don't live forever here in the village. Second changeover, they call it, and I reckon that's what it is.
Oh, they're dead, all right. Everybody but us.
That's the line. Right there, at the foot of that old oak tree.
other side of the Oaks, out of the village.
Well, why do we have to hide here? Can't we just walk across the line and be out of the village?
Not and be sure somebody won't take a pot shot at us. We can't. Ain't nobody ever got out of this village, to my knowledge, once they've been accepted by the village fathers. I ain't sure I can make it.
What? What do you mean?
Well, if I get to holding back, now you just take my hands and pull. You hear me? No matter what I say, you drag me on across that line, past that old oak.
But if you ask us not...
Don't pay me no mind. Drag me over by the heels if you have to. Well, time to go, I reckon. Here, take me by the hands, both of you.
What, well, you're shaking like a leaf.
Ain't never been so scared in my whole life. You two just walk on up to that tree and across.
Come on. Come on, don't hang back.
I'll just stay on here. See that you two get across all right, but I'll just stay on here.
Oh, come on, let's go.
Changed my mind, Mr. Albertson. Reckon I'll just stay on here.
No. Now, we're taking you with us, whether you like it or not. That's what you asked us to do, and that's what we're doing.
Well, that was a while back, Mr. Albertson. A fella can change his mind.
I'm sorry, let's go.
Let me go. You let go of me, you hear? I'll yell for Ernie Crampton if you don't. What I said before don't make no difference. You let go of me.
You come on, will you?
Ralph!
I ain't a-going. Ernie! Down here, back in the church.
Shut up, you damn fool. Up, Wilma. Push him. Push him. Get behind him.
Ralph,
Push
I
him.
can't! If he doesn't want to!
All he's been talking about for the last 24 hours is wanting to get away. Now, come on, you.
Lord, help me.
No, please.
There. We're out of their miserable village. We're across the line, Lucas. Lucas.
Ralph. He's not here.
Well, of course he's here. Lucas!
Ralph. Look around you. For heaven's sake, look around you.
Damn. Where the devil did the idiot get to?
I don't mean that. Look what this is we're standing in. Just a minute ago, it was a vacant field, and now...
It's just a... Oh. It's a graveyard. I didn't notice it before.
It wasn't here before. Ralph. Read that. On the headstone. Go ahead, read it.
Ellis. It's almost worn away. Ellis Perkins. 1834 to 1904. But...
And this one, over here.
Lucas Madison. 1897 to 1963.
Ellis Perkins died in 1904, and Lucas Madison in 1963. Well, that's what it said on the headstones. And when Ralph and Wilma looked for it, the village wasn't there. They found nothing but wasteland and an old church, crumbling from age and disrepair. I'll be back shortly. Wilma and Ralph Albertson found a fine old colonial house eventually in a lovely little town in Connecticut. And Wilma says dreamily sometimes as they sit down to lunch, I wonder what Ellis Perkins is having for dinner today, and who's fixing it for him. Well, sleepy villages may come and go, but Mystery Theater will be back with another account of the improbable, but not the impossible. Our cast included Norman Rose, Martha Greenhouse, Kurt Benson, and Ken Harvey. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.